Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Kansas City, the home of the NCAA Women's Soccer Championship weekend, and welcome to the 2025 Players League Women's Soccer Finals. Today is a celebration of innovation, creativity, competition, and the power of young women leading the way in STEM, AI, and entrepreneurship, supported along the way by mentorship from collegiate and professional women's soccer players who helped guide, inspire, and empower them throughout this journey. Over the last 10 weeks, students from across the country participated in the Players League Women's Soccer Initiative, a program that challenged them to conceptualize new products, explore real-world business ideas, and learn how to bring those ideas to life through AI tools and also branding, marketing, and presentation skills. Throughout the program, they also received mentorship from women's soccer athletes and industry professionals who offered insight, encouragement, and real-world perspectives. These students took an idea from spark to concept to pitch, and today they present those ideas live on stage. This morning, our finalists will step into the spin tank to pitch the real concepts they've developed, share their business vision, and answer questions from our judges as well, and compete to honor the winner of the first ever Players League Women's Soccer Champions. We have an incredible lineup of schools, an amazing panel of judges, and an unforgettable show ahead. Whether you're joining us from your school, from your home, or we have an audience right here in Kansas City with us all today, thank you for being part of this milestone moment. And let's get this final started. I'll kick it off first. I want to introduce the host of Players League Women's Soccer Finals, the handsome gentleman sitting right next to me today, the managing director of Stay Plugged In and one of the founders of the Players League, the initiative that gives students hands-on experiences in esports entrepreneurship and career exploration. Please welcome Rick Suarez.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Justin. Thanks for that gracious intro. Super excited to be here, obviously, with our second now iteration for the Players League, really focusing in on, from a women's perspective, and getting them the opportunity to jump into kind of the initiatives around AI and compete here today in Kansas City. But, you know, I'd be remiss without really going back to Justin, who's really been the central component of the Women's Soccer Players League, our director of education here at Stay Plugged In, really the architect around everything that goes in week to week, providing the curriculum, and has guided every school week over week. So thank you for everything that you have done here, and welcome to this show.
Yeah, and I'm glad to be able to be in person this time around. Last time around, I was virtual for football, but I'm really glad to be in person. And I'd be remiss not to also shout out Miss Avery, who also helped along the way throughout this process. We're a team of educational specialists this time around, which has been super exciting, super great, and it's been awesome to also have a woman who's very involved in esports and education be able to also be a part of also educating the students at large.
Yeah, no, Avery's been fantastic, and I'm sure she's watching at home and rooting on every single team. So our next judge is a sports legend. Ahman Green is the all-time leading rusher for the Green Bay Packers, is also in the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame. He is the commissioner of the Players League in general. So we're certainly honored to have Ahman here with us in Kansas City today, a city I'm sure you're very familiar with from your playing days.
Yep.
Still as cold as you remember, probably.
Oh, yeah.
But Ahman Green, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Rick and Justin. Appreciate you as well. But no, super excited to be here, to see the young ladies here to compete and have fun and actually, gain experience from being here. From the moment I'm pretty sure got asked to do this event, they started, mind just started spinning on things, what they got to do, how they got to prepare, working with the AI, knowing that they got to come to another town where they haven't been. So that's where, as a young adult, I love to see that. I remember that time of my life growing up as a kid, playing football, baseball, basketball, but then going to school, having to do group projects similar to this, to where you kind of learn your boundaries, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what makes you nervous, things like that, and anticipation and all that to present something to, I say, a group of people or online or anything like this. And we didn't definitely have this when we were younger, Rick,
No, wish
here. But it's an opportunity to grow, basically. And that's what I see here. And that's why, I was able to become part of this Players League, being a commissioner, recruiting other athletes to, mentor and share their stories, because at the end of the day, something that we do share and can relate to is the sporting or competition side of it. That's the relation between what's going on here in the Players League with the young ladies here and in the other programs that we have. That was similar to us as athletes on the football field or soccer pitch or baseball diamond, things of that nature.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I get super excited because I think gaming is just such a cultural part of today's world and society in general. And you've got your super competitive esports competitors, if you will, which we always invite, to competitions like this. But the fact that we're able to align that with a variety of different sports, different athletes to come in from a mentorship side of things, really opens a door for a number of other participants to come on board as well, and brings those two communities together so that they can converge into this STEM world, if you will, to look at, well, what do I like? What don't I like? And kind of what works for them. So without further ado, I'm going to jump back to Justin so that he can go into a little bit more about the dynamics around the Players League, specifically why we do what we do, and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Players League, the initial concept around it was really to educate and inform students about a variety of career fields and pathways. At the end of the day, I think there's been a very heavy rise statistically in students going to college or university and going in undeclared, not knowing what they want to do, not knowing what their next steps are, or, possibly just, sitting around at home, taking on a part-time job just because they don't know what that next step is.
I still don't know what I want to do.
Maybe when you grow up, bud.
One day. One day.
But between, college and university, or even not going to college and university and just going to the workforce, we found a delay in what students are able to figure out what they want to do next. So Players League was kind of born from a vision of, one, exposing students to different hard and soft skills that could launch into a variety of career fields, and two, being able to expose them to mentors with, folks like Ahman, to be able to show what real world athletes may be doing both during their athletic career, but also post-athletic career as well. We've had guest speakers talk about, what do I want to do after I'm professional, or even retired players now who go on to do tons of amazing, great things. And a lot of people don't really think about that. They don't think about, hey, this guy was in the NFL for 10 plus years. What did they do next? A lot of people don't hear about that at first or really think about it, but there's, for the average person, they're working into their 60s. There's still 30 years of career left for a lot of players once they're done with athletics. I mean, Ahman, you've done a ton of great work since being a player. Why don't you talk a bit more about what you've done since being a player as well?
Yeah, so I retired in 2009, so you're talking about 16 years ago. And that first year, my plan was, first year I'm going to become a dad again. So I was get reconnected with my family. I have 4 daughters and a son. At that time, they were between high school and middle school and elementary. So got that year under my belt, and then after that year, my wife was like, "Oh, you need to do something. You're driving us crazy," So I was like boot camping it, training camp mindset, getting the kids to do fun things, but they didn't see it that way. But still, I was finding what was next, and so the first thing I went into was like something I say naturally came to me was just coaching. So got into football coaching, got into mentorship there, and became football, running backs coach and special teams coordinator, but then also was able to open a training facility to help other athletes, other sports disciplines, soccer, baseball, football, rugby as well. So trying to branch on into another passion, and so going down that road is basically got me here, because on the fun side of passion of things, where I was always going to gaming events, and so then started knock on the door of some of the people that I knew from my playing career with EA that I would do an event with, because at Super Bowl they do the Madden Bowl, and all that kind of narrowed down into where I was like, all right, I got to get serious some here, where I'm actually doing something. Not only is it financially helping me out, but also where I feel I'm like passing the torch to the next generation in some way, shape, or form, other than my own kids, right? Because I raised my kids, making sure they go to college and they're well-rounded human beings, but then have an opportunity to spread that word to somebody else's kids that I coach in sports, or once I became an esports coach in 2020 at Lakeland University, then I started to spread the word that people finding out that I had something a little bit different, the passion for video gaming, but understanding that the relation between the sports that I traditionally played has a big relation. It's competition, it's teamwork, it's dedication, it's building one's confidence. And it just, having where the athletes learn that they got a nice support system around them, from the teammates to the coaching staff that they have to help them get better, at the game. And then also learn how to, do something like this, because we are part of esports is content creation. So talking about that, teaching them, how to shoutcast for their game. If we had to have one of the players shoutcast that are not playing, they could get on there, and I just tell them, make sure you got your microphone, to just like we just went through before we went live here, same type of rundown. And then you find out, like Rick mentioned, you find out what you don't like, you find out what you like, or find out what you really love. Like, man, I love doing this, right. Talking about Rocket League, or I like being behind the camera, helping out with the content creation to make sure it gets out to everyone, and everybody can hear it and see it, and looks great on Twitch or Kick or wherever the platform.
Yeah, and I think for us, that's our most critical point of this mission with the Players League, is really to help students come together and identify where their interests lie, right? Because waking up every day and going to work to do something you actually like to do is a massive win, no matter what. So, but beyond that, for the Players League, just talking about some of the points that we bring into the league itself. Obviously, you've been a critical component in helping gather sports athletes, whether current or retired, to come in from a mentorship perspective. We were fortunate enough for Players League Women's Soccer to have a few professionals come join us. Taylor Huff, Maddie Darlene, who was, I believe, up for Rookie of the Year in the NWSL. We're here in Kansas City. We wanted to make this incredibly experiential for the students as well. It also helps with the competitive nature of it, because they want to win that ultimate prize, if you will. The reason we're here is for the College Cup, which is the Final Four in college women's soccer. We're fortunate, and I am a homer here, so you're going to have to excuse me, but we're fortunate to have Florida State University in that final game on Monday night. The girls were there to see them play last night against TCU. Florida State came out the victor 1-0. They will be facing Stanford, who faced Duke last night and came out the victor 1-0 as well. But during this league, they also were able to interact with a couple of Florida State players, both Taylor Suarez as well as Heather Gilchrist. So that, to me, blends a little bit more consistency and engagement for those young girls to say, well, what do you go through day to day? Because the reality, and similar to you, what your high school student, college student, professional athlete goes through on a day to day is about the same.
Yeah, it's not much different.
But the view is different, right? From their perspective, wow, you must have everything great. You must have everything perfect, the perfect world, the perfect life, where nothing could be further from the truth. Life is life for everybody. So helping not just on the company side, on the understanding the STEM side of things, but also on the mental health side. Your day-to-day struggles that we all go through, right? The questions that we have for internally for ourselves as to, can I do this? Can I make this? and can I be successful at it? I think that's a critical component of the journey we try to put the students through as well, so that they can experience from those athletes, celebrities, influencers side. And then last but not least, and I think equally as critical, we also bring in a number of folks from the corporate level, executives to come in and talk real world. What you're learning, this is where it's applicable, or what we've done in our career, this is what helped us, so that they can share those stories. And now those students can literally have this resource of information that they can utilize to move forward. And also a network now, right? They've got some friendly banter with some of these people where, hey, I actually did really good with this project. I want to move forward. And I remember this person giving me this advice. I'm going to reach out. Maybe they'll be willing to look at, hey, what do I do from a job application perspective? Or can I get an internship there? Because now they know each other. So for me, it kind of brings all of that together in this players league world, if you will. So that's why I'm always excited each and every iteration that we do of this, but super excited for the players to be here in Kansas City in this moment and kind of show off what they've worked on all of this time. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Justin as we can talk about how it all got started from there.
Yeah, and colleges and universities too have been an important integration as well. We're thankful to have Florida Tech as well as Midlands University both be able to come and talk to the students as well and talk about their experiences. Both female esports directors running those programs too. So also talking about how they got into the industry, into what is currently still a male-dominated industry, and kind of seeing what it's like to go through that pipeline and kind of change the story a bit, because it is ever-changing year over year. The number of women who are getting into esports roles, athletic roles, is expanding a huge amount. And we're seeing that in women's athletics across the boards too. The WNBA has exploded. NWSL has exploded over the past 5 years, especially has been huge. So there really is this strong opportunity across all the industries for women to really kind of get out of the mold that's kind of been set over the years and really expand on that. So I think that's been super amazing, super impactful. But as far as Players League getting started, really it started as kind of bridging a gap between esports, education, and traditional athletics. So we did Players League football in the spring. We were up in Green Bay for that finale. For that one, they made commercials. So they learned everything from storyboarding to filming to video editing. They made some fantastic Super Bowl commercials. It was an absolutely fantastic job done by them. And with that being said, we really wanted to expand on that this year and kind of try out looking at different groups and different individuals, because what we saw in that league was there were a few females who were a part of that league, but it definitely was not the majority at that point. So if we were able to tie in the existence and growth right now of women's athletics, it really was a strong opportunity for us to really give an experience to a unique group. And with that, we wanted to make sure we had a different kind of style of competition than what we had before, mix it up a bit. And that comes up to, the spin tank that we've been talking about. So students have been working with AI over the past 8 to 10 weeks, highlighting the league and being able to talk about, hey, this is how you use AI to come up with a product idea around the 2026 FIFA World Cup. You can use AI to be able to help design graphics, design logos, design slogans, and then finally, ultimately, use AI to design a pitch deck at the end of the day. And there's a ton of statistics that kind of talk about like the gender gap, that talk about the women's athletes and mental health, that talk about women-led entrepreneurship. I believe it was around 29% of women are in STEM workforce right now. That number is growing though year over year, and opportunities like these can provide that growth. I know about 30% of women's soccer players have shown signs of depression at some point. So every mentor we had, we asked them questions about mental health. How's mental health involved in their industry? How's mental health involved in their day-to-day? What does it look like? What is your team doing to support you? What is your company doing to support you? What's the colleges and universities doing to support their students? And then obviously the entrepreneur side of this, coming up with a product idea and ideation. I think about 40% of businesses are women-owned now, which is, we're finally getting close to that 50-50. And there's been a lot of strong pride around women in the workforce and woman-run businesses. I think too, just because I'm an Eagles fan, I think that Jalen Hurts, his team that works around him and his marketing team is an all-women's team, for example. There are tons of groups that are, proud woman-owned, and there's great works done by the community to help market that and make sure that it's known that these are strong businesses that are being run by women to give that perspective. So overall, though, it's been super fantastic, super engaging to get students really involved in all these different kinds of AI. Some they've seen before and maybe already use, and some that they've never touched before. So it's been really cool getting to see students kind of use AI to come up with their own ideas and experiences.
Yep. No, and you talk about women in the workforce, et cetera, and I'm happy to be here in Kansas City knowing that, the KC Current, the president of their operations, is a woman as well. Beautiful facility here. It is currently the only NWSL stadium that's only used for women's soccer, where every other team is dual purpose
partner
for different organizations as well. So super happy to have boots on the ground here. Let's go into the schools that are joining us here. Who's made it to the very end for this presentation? I'll kick that off with someone from our hometown, where North Carolina, Charlotte area, Ardrey Kell. They came in for the first time participating in the Players League with an open mind, and I am super excited to have them come here to see what their presentation is going to look like. We've got Kearns Academy, which is the defending champion. They are back for a second run. In the spring, they ended up winning for the Players League football. I remember Kingston Morgan incredibly well, bright young man. Bright future ahead of him in terms of what he's able to bring to the table, and he was sitting in a chair right next to me going through that. So will it be Kearns potentially that takes it over?
He'll also be helping us out at Stay Plugged In the spring with an internship too.
Yes.
So he's coming on board to help out with some of the things that we have going on as well. But the crazy thing about Kearns is the fact that it's a completely different group of students too.
It is.
It's not the same team.
Students.
So
not by any stretch. So we're super excited to see how they do here today. And last but not least, joining us from Nebraska.
Home state.
For you, baby.
Yeah, go Big Red.
Quest Forward, and they are in the house
Go
here
Quest.
today. Not just the participants, but we also have a number of the high school students that also participated in the league, traveling in from Nebraska for this morning to watch, and we're super excited to have them here to see the entire product, behind the scenes, if you will. So they've got home field advantage.
A little bit.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're super excited, like I said, to see kind of what products they came up with and what they will deliver. So our first day here, obviously, was with them going out to watch the semifinals, as we alluded to. I don't know if I mentioned Florida State won.
Yep. Oh, you did.
I did. They are in the championship. We will see what happens in that game. Would love to get your guys' take. You guys were able to watch that game as well. Stanford, Florida State. They met earlier. I don't know if you know this. They met earlier this season in Tallahassee, home of FSU.
Okay.
FSU had not lost at home in about forever, and Stanford won 2-1. So this is a revenge game to some capacity, but also 2 years ago they also met in the championship for the national title.
Right.
Florida State beat them 5-1.
Oh, okay.
So from Stanford's perspective, this is also a revenge game. So
Got it.
what do you guys think? If you say Stanford, we're just going to stop the show.
No, I was excuse me. I was about to say, we're talking about rivalries here, so you kind of throw the records out the window because it's a whole another emotional level that comes into fray because of the win, a couple years ago for FSU, and then Stanford goes down there this past season, the home, and breaks the home winning streak. So all that built up aggression and rivalry and competitiveness is in front. So regardless of what happened last night for both teams, even though they won, all that is forgotten. And I believe the game's on Monday, correct?
Monday night, yes, sir.
So between now and Monday, it's wipe the slate clean and watch the current film. Both teams watching the current film on each of them to find out where they can find a weakness or find a point where they could try to score, defend, and try and be triumphant. Though that's going to be the hard part because they're really what we watched last night. Really, two good teams. Defensively. Striking the ball, passing, accuracy, all that stuff was just on point for me. And it was like, so I'm going to tune in on Monday myself, and it's going to be, I say it's going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be hard for me to pick anyway because I saw the speed and the underdog mentality that Florida State had because they've been the underdog so far.
Yep.
And they've upset some teams to get here. So I like the underdog. I'll just say that. I like the underdog
My guy.
mentality. So, but Stanford, they showed the whole unit of working together and striking and then defending, which they did a lot. Not a lot of passes of Duke was able to get through to get to the goal or even get to the players they were trying to set up for a goal score. So that part of the game was definitely impressive to see out there on the football field, on the pitch. And so, yeah, it was very fun to have take in my first, college women's NCAA Cup, and I just enjoyed it. Had a good time last night.
Good. Good deal.
You see how he rode the line a tiny bit
Yeah,
there?
yeah. I think he was slightly rooting for FSU. Diplomatic. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a bit more of a tougher critic. Florida State honestly was an amazing game last night. TCU did a great job guarding midfield, making sure that Florida State did have to kind of execute to the outside to be able to get anything over. So many balls right in front of goal that Florida State only came up on one, but it could have been 10-0. It could have been 1-0 like it was. There was so many opportunities there. But Stanford has been dominant this postseason. 1 goal allowed to Michigan. That's it. They've been known for the electric offense. They haven't had to use that offense as much. I think the most goals they had in a playoff game was around 5. So Stanford, really good team. You're not gonna like me. I'm leaning Stanford.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's a really tough game, but it's one that oh no, it's all over. Cut the cam. But in all seriousness, I think Florida State played a really great game last night, and they're a team that has had to get upsets to get to where they are today. So they've shown they're gritty and they have what it takes, especially to play in this cold weather. Because and on top of that, TCU was out there last night fan-wise.
Yeah,
they traveled well.
Yes.
So the fact that Florida State could handle that dynamic, they definitely could win. But I'm leaning Stanford right now.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it's going to be one of the two. I think we're in for a barn burner of a game. It's going to be super exciting. They both are fast-paced. They play well. They're incredibly well-disciplined, well-coached staffs or teams. I just hope it doesn't go to PKs, and with that, I will be good. So with that, let's jump into really the real reason we're here this weekend, which is this competition, which is equally has been fast-paced, super competitive, and I'm excited to see kind of some of these results. I have not been able to see these pitch decks, obviously, so I'm going into with an open mind. I have an idea about all of the businesses, obviously, but I'd love to see kind of what that looks like and kind of go from there. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about the journey for the schools.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had 10 weeks of a bunch of different schools involved with overall one mission, creating a unique product idea around the 2026 FIFA World Cup happening right here in North America in the next year. So
that's right.
Super excited for that. Obviously, this is a great lead-up kind of event into that. But with that being said, they learned a bunch of different skills. We talked about a bunch of different things throughout the process. We talked about AI copyright. When you make something with AI, who does that belong to? Do you own it? Does the AI company own it? And honestly, it's really no one owns it right now. There's no real laws around it. When you make something in AI, the AI can't own it because it's not a human, so it can't have copyright. And the person doesn't own it because they're not creating it themselves. So currently, no one owns a lot of AI products that are generated by AI right now. So with that, talking about the fact that, hey, this is why you get plagiarism when you turn in work that's completely made with AI, because it's not made by you and it's not made by anyone really. So these are the kinds of things that we talk about this league, because this league, we're obviously using AI a lot, and we're encouraging students to use AI in the classroom, which is still kind of a hot topic item right now.
For sure.
It's the same kind of thing, 10, 20 years ago about bringing more laptops and Chromebooks into the classroom and technology in general. It was, should we have tech in the classroom? Is it useful in the classroom? And obviously it's been adopted. I think almost every student has a Chromebook now across the country that they use. Right. So AI is kind of in that boat right now. So it's kind of showing, how can I use AI both for this competition, but how can I go back and use these AI tools for my day-to-day in class? So that started with a product ideation, being able to talk to AI about, hey, tell me about some products that might not exist that might be good for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Like what can the market be? And, for example, what I gave to all the students was I had a surround sound chair that you could do from home experience. It's basically a pod, all the speakers built in, so that you could feel like you're sitting in a seat at the game, and you could choose your seat at the game and be like, I want to hear what the sound perspective is when I'm over in the goal when the first goal of the game was scored by Florida State last night. And that was kind of the idea I came up with the help of AI. And I talked to the AI about, hey, what would my target audience look like for this? What would my market opportunity look like about this? How much is the market going to grow over the next few years? And rather than working for weeks and months as we used to kind of research all of this and talk to everyone about, hey, does this product work? They're able to talk to AI and one, kind of do all that ideation very quickly, and two, even talk to AI back and forth about, hey, what if I wanted to do it like this? What if I wanted to do it like that? And get instant feedback without having to take time up from anyone outside of their team to do so.
Right.
So it really helps them kind of bounce off ideas. That then leads into, okay, how would I market and brand this product? Talking to AI about designing a logo, designing a slogan. Graphic design is a really great skill for everyone to have, but it's a huge learning curve.
Yes,
So
it is.
being able to have students go ahead and make logos and slogans with the help of AI.
You don't just draw it out and say, let's try again.
Oh, I mean, some people could go that route. We saw some really good hand-drawn storyboards in the spring.
Oh yeah, that's
so
true.
we
Yes,
saw some
I
really good
remember
ones.
that.
So
Yep.
it could have been, but at the same time, though, we also wanted them to learn some of those graphic design skills and execute on that. So they used
Love it.
Canva for executing on graphic design. They made a flyer and a poster, and then ultimately they're talking about the marketing there of what it would look like to market that out. And then finally, the final product, the pitch deck. We used a tool called Gamma AI, which is a super awesome tool to be able to really quickly put together a pitch deck. So it looks
Right.
really good, really eloquent without having to have PowerPoint or Google Slides serious experience.
Right.
And that's what we're here to see today. We're here to see those pitch decks. I got a bit of the inside scoop because I'm on the education side running everything.
Right.
So I kind of see what they look like already, but I promise you, they're really high quality products, and they're products that most of the information comes from the students directly, and the students that they gathered from the ideation,
Right.
that they modified and changed to fit the need of what they're trying to pitch and present today. So with that, I know we took some time earlier on this week to kind of look at some of the posters, look at some of the product ideations. I think we do have those posters so that we can show stream kind of what we have.
Would love to see it.
Going on, but if we want to show some of those posters, that'd be absolutely great. Yeah, so we had Audrey Kells. First product, Seat Dash, being able to DoorDash basically directly to your seat instead, bringing in food and all of that good stuff directly to your seat, so you don't miss a moment of the action. I need this. I'm tired of sitting in long lines at concessions. There's some stadiums that are really tough that you cannot get through during like a halftime of a football game or a
100%.
soccer game to get that food. But I absolutely love the design. I love the neon green. I love being able to have the chair and the food on top of it. It is a clear logo as to what you're getting product-wise from it. So I absolutely love it, and I love the soccer field in the background too.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that is super, super cool. Great design. To your point, typically when you look at a brand, you want to have a quick understanding, if you can, as to what they're able to do. Having the food bag on the seat makes that incredibly easy. Seat Dash. Hopefully DoorDash doesn't look at copyright infringement there. But other than that, I think I think you're good. I like the color scheme of that, and obviously great idea. Similar to you, if I don't have to get up and I can just stay there watching the action and get everything delivered to me, let's do it.
Yeah, giving the fan experience another little kick up, tally that up a little bit. The color, I like it because it pops. And then obviously knowing that in this world today, there's, between all the different apps from Uber and DoorDash and all that, adding that to a place to where, for the fans experience, definitely, like you said, Rick, they won't miss a beat now. For somebody that's really a diehard fan of whatever, game team they're looking at, so they'll just be able to sit there, put the order in, and then just wait for it and make sure it comes nice and hot to them, basically.
True story here. So I was born and raised in Connecticut, so I'm a huge Boston Red Sox fan.
Okay.
And I was fortunate enough to go to a World Series game with my family. My middle son, big baseball player, ended up having to go because he was hungry to get a hot dog and a soda and everything else. And one of his favorite players at the time, David Ortiz, Big Papi,
Yeah.
came up to bat, hit a home run while my son was out getting a hot dog with his mom.
Yeah.
Where was this then?
Exactly.
That's what he's thinking.
Oh man, and I know I've been in a lot of games in Lambeau Field, so trust me, I would like to stay. If I've been outside, I've sat outside, so staying warm in my seat, keep the seat. The little bench part that we get in Lambeau's only about this big anyway, But keeping that warm is, trust me, it's priority number one. So I could put that order in, don't have to get up and not worry about nobody, one, taking my seat or my seat getting cold like it was last night, basically.
Amen. Amen. All right, let's, who's next?
Yeah, let's see what we got next. We got Smart Kick. This is Kearns Academy's idea. So basically, this is supposed to be the next high-tech training. You think about, for example, I think golf players are the first ones to really have these cameras and sensors that could look at your swing, say how you need to modify your swing, and be able to say, hey, this is what you need to do to get your best swing out of it. Smart Kick is for soccer, basically. So it is not only something that you put on your body, kind of something you put on your ankle, on your arm, to be able to kind of track your motions, your kicks, what's working best, what do you need to change about your movements to, one, be able to perform better, and two, also probably stay healthy and make sure that you're not taking any missteps to hurt your body. But on top of that, which I think is the most interesting part, and me and Amon actually talked about this before stream, tracker in the soccer ball as well. So that can track things like kick power, how the ball's traveling, and you can take that into account too when you're thinking about strategy, when you're thinking about execution in your day-to-day games. So it's really a really cool tool and idea.
Yeah.
I say for a young athlete or any athlete really, having a tool like this, me thinking about, I grew up playing football and even baseball too, and knowing, where if I say I'm playing baseball, pitching the ball, and knowing my release point and what that feels like throwing a curveball to a fastball, how to make it more, how to make a curveball curve more, because it's all about the torque you give with your hands. So a ball telling me, even though this is soccer, but having that in a baseball, something like that would definitely make me, kind of dial in a little bit tighter. Like, hey, coach, I got to work on this, with my hand grip on the baseball. But, with kicking too, watching the games last night and watching soccer I've been a soccer fan for a while, but watching how players, approach the ball to kick the ball, that plant foot, where that is. And then the way they hit the ball, if they hit it too high, or if it's going to spin outside or inside. So that's all very important, because especially when kicking the goal, because you're trying to get the ball past the goalie, and that spin torque can be big in terms of how much it gets, where it looks like it's going straight, but that thing, as we know, it bends. It could curve. So working on that, knowing the analytics behind that, and then practicing it, excuse me, consistently, that'd be something for a player to be like, oh man, I can make my game a little bit more dangerous for a goalie or even for the team that I'm playing against. Yeah,
no doubt. What I like about the concept of this product is that's kind of where all sports are, data analytics at the end of the day, right? You talk about baseball, they look at spin rate, hit rate, how hard that ball is coming off the bat, things of that nature. And I'll use baseball as the example. You can hit the ball 10 straight times and make 10 straight outs, but if the hit rate, meaning how hard you're hitting the ball, is pretty high up there, the coaches are going to be okay with that, because they realize, hey, you're just unlucky right now, right? So taking that data analytics into the soccer space certainly helps the players and the coaches within that realm, but also on the recruiting side. Right now, I can look at players throughout the country and look at, hey, what are they doing here, and then how do I plug them into the collegiate scene or the pro scene? So super excited to learn more about that one for sure.
And that flyer and poster was awesome too. It had a ton of information, the about us, covering all the information about the flyer, and also it's in Kearns colors too. So I like the little homage to that as well. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed the design there. And very welcoming.
And the logo's
you gotta
great.
have that. Yeah, logo smart.
Logo smart, literally shows the soccer anklet right there. It shows the soccer ball on the screen. It shows exactly what the product is again. So both logos so far that we've seen have done a great job saying, hey, this is the product. This is clearly what you're getting from this. So it's been super cool.
Yep.
And then finally, I think we have Quest Forward as the last one. I believe it's Arena Scope. There it is, Arena Scope, last product that we're talking about today. So this one is kind of a new high-tech binoculars, but it's not VR, AR. So this basically allows you to kind of get the perfect spectator view from anywhere in the stadium. So if you're in your nosebleed $7 seats at the very top of the championship game on Monday, you'll be able to see perfectly to the field. You'll be able to see the penalty kicks perfectly that Rick doesn't want to see. He'll be able to get the perfect zoom in of it and feel like you're right there. So I think it's a super cool product. I think it's super awesome in terms of the flyer too. I love the green again here because it gives off the grass perspective. Honestly, to me, it kind of brings a lively feel to it. I honestly love having the logo in the bottom right, kind of as a soccer ball with the player's foot on it. I
Yep.
think that is
Smart.
a super smart touch, and it integrates the logo very well. I like the logo has sunglasses on it, so once again, you get what the
Yeah.
product is to some extent, and it has some bullet points there around as well. And then they also even generated an AI prototype version of what it looks like on there, so you can actually see a picture of the actual product, which I think is really unique, and I think it's very sleek too. It's not bulky like a VR goggles or like actual binoculars or anything like that. It is very much a sleek, natural sunglasses design. So I think that that's very cool.
Yeah, I'd say not having it where, like you said, bulky, like with VR, AR goggles is huge because you're sitting in the stands. You don't want to have, things lobbing everywhere, dropping them, or big or heavy or uncomfortable or things like that. So good job on the spec there. Again, with the design, the layout of the name itself, ArenaScope, good name. I like that. And say for all the contestants or all the competitors here, they all understood, like, when you look at something, advertisement promotion, then you want to make sure you're saying what you're selling or you're showing exactly what you're selling. And then all three of them do that, and that was what I saw. Grading everything out was the tough part. It's like,
Right.
man, we got to have a winner, but they all did a great job at that, showing what the product is, what it's about, and then giving a description next to it
Yep.
or below it or what have you, and then being real creative, with the soccer ball, or say with the logo being the soccer ball where the soccer players kind of standing up on it. I like that too. Just something where you could tell they have fun with it too, and stuff like that is where when you're having fun, that means you're doing the right thing.
Yep.
You're in the right spot of mind or place of mind to create something and be be successful with it as well.
Yep. I think in the business world in general, I look at it, I come from the perspective of, can it scale? Is it a
Right.
business that can make money at the end of the day? That's why you open a business.
100%.
And first question I aligned myself with is, would I use that product? And, all three check the box.
Oh yeah.
With ArenaScope, I found myself last night, and I had pretty good seats. I was sitting with the families for FSU. By the way, they won last night. But I
That's
found
the third time.
Is it?
Yeah.
My memory fades.
There's a dollar jar coming later.
I love
Second
it.
half.
I love it. It was 1-0. But I found myself watching the field for a lot of the action, but I also found myself kind of looking up at the big scoreboard on occasion to kind of see parts of it that I couldn't see well from where I was, and I had good seats. So this is something with ArenaScope. If you've got those on, and it gives you that ability where you can kind of see what you want to see when you want to see it, I'll buy it today.
Yeah. And we already
Sure.
talked about Seat Dash heavily. Like, I'm a dude who goes to stadiums, and I want to have the most unique food there. And the other part of that is,
Foodie.
yeah, I'm a huge foodie.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I went to the game up in Minneapolis a few weeks ago
Okay.
at the Eagles Vikings, and they had a foot-long mozzarella stick, and they only had it in one place in that entire
my
stadium.
goodness. There you
And
go.
it's on the opposite side of where I was sitting.
Oh.
So if I could get that sent to me from the other side of the stadium for those deluxe food
Yes.
items that they only have at one stand at the
Yeah.
whole place, like that's killer. I want to have it.
Yes.
So even last night, where you all were sitting directly to your right was the Joe's Barbecue Shack,
Yep.
Yep, we saw
which
it.
was a very long walk for me.
Yep.
So to your point, and Joe's Barbecue, by the way, world famous barbecue joint here in Kansas City.
Yep.
So
Love it.
I couldn't make that journey because it was cold. I wasn't going to go.
Well, you
walk
could have
all the
texted
way
one of
over there.
us. And,
Yeah.
Didn't want to do it. So again, another product to your point that hey, sign me up.
all
Let's. I know we've talked a lot about the athlete side of it, why we bring them in for mentorship, the corporation executives, the colleges that we bring in, obviously the STEM and learning component. I mean, those are all critical components of the league. But I want to say the glue, if you will, to the league. We're an esports company through and through, and we're very well aware that for this generation coming up, elementary, middle, high school, college-age students, they game.
Play
They
some.
game quite a bit.
Yeah.
Some are super competitive. Some play a little bit. Some play casually, just so that they can, have friendly banter with their friends, et cetera. So that's the glue, really, to our leagues. Is that esports competition as well, so that students can all compete against each other in a fun environment and build camaraderie around that as well. It's not, hey, I want to beat the heck out. I mean, they want to beat the heck out of each other. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but they want to get to know each other as well.
Yep.
Kind of what are you doing in Nebraska? What are we doing in the Carolinas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So with that, talk a little bit about what we did from the esports side in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was really cool this year. Once again, we had some students that came from esports backgrounds and
Yep.
some that came from soccer backgrounds. So we wanted to kind of find something that kind of fit everyone's need, but also was way more accessible as well. So we did Madden in the spring, obviously,
Yep.
but you need a console, you need a PC to
Yep.
run that game. We wanted to do something that anyone could play from their phone even. So
Nice.
there's this great game called Soccer Stars. It's been around for over 14 years. I played it when I was a kid. Like, it
Oh.
has existed for
Nice.
ever, basically.
30 years ago.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But overall, with that product, it was super cool because it allows you just to connect with people instantly on mobile. It does have a PC version if anybody wanted to play on PC, and it's still
Nice.
being updated to this day. So it's
Nice.
still
So it has a
updated
server
every
for
week.
it.
So
Nice.
it still has a server for
Nice.
it. So absolutely great game. It's basically, it's fast-paced, but does have a turn-based style to it, where it's kind of a shuffleboard soccer arcade style mix.
Love it.
So you're taking turns. You're
Without the sand.
yeah,
Right,
without the
that's
sand, no sand for this one. We got grass for that. But you're taking turns, basically flicking around with your pucks, being able to try to score a goal ultimately. And first one to 2 goals wins. We did best 2 out of 3 style throughout the process, but it was super accessible and students seemed to really enjoy it. And on top of that, last time around during regular season, we only had schools compete within their regions. So we only had during regular season the Carolinas play the Carolinas, Houston play Houston until playoffs.
Right.
Here, because of the easiness of connection with this game, we were able to have everyone play each other throughout the regular
Oh,
season.
nice.
So we had
Nice.
people from Florida playing people in Indiana. We had people
Nice.
in the Carolinas playing people in Nebraska on a week-to-week basis. It wasn't just the Carolinas being stuck to playing the Carolinas during the regular season. Which was a huge ask that we got from the players last time around.
Yep.
So being able to play other people around the country
Wow, okay.
was a super cool difference maker as far as that goes.
Yep.
So they did 5 weeks of regular season this time around, plus
Okay.
the playoff play. We had Kearns Academy won the regular season. So Kearns Academy won their regular season. Kristen from their team actually was the overall regular season champion.
Nice.
But come playoffs, top 8 made playoffs. And we actually had an upset. We actually had number 5 seed SM from Leon High School be able to come out on top over
Really?
Archery Kell with Carson. So we had a number 3 seed versus number 5 seed. Number 5 seed came out and won the whole
Wow,
thing.
okay.
I think we have some video so we can take the look at it. I think when you watch it, number 5 seed SM Leon, who wins, is going to be Guest, is the name of their account, and then we have the other, which will be Carson for her name of the account. So let's
Got it.
check out that VOD so you guys can see a bit of what the season looked like.
Love it.
But yeah, I mean, it was a completely great match. Leon won 4-1 overall. At the end of the day, it was a best of 7. But absolutely insane.
Where's Leon located?
Leon is located in, oh my goodness. It's Tuscaloosa, Florida, which is also home of Florida State, who, if you didn't know, won last night.
They played last night?
Florida State? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Again, probably fifth or sixth time.
So
There it is.
So what's amazing, though, is, again, being able to connect all of the different schools throughout the country and build that, again, camaraderie, play a game. It may not be one of the most highly sought-after games. That's not what we were looking for more than anything. We were just games are games. You could play checkers and have fun playing against your friends. You could play ping pong. You could play whatever that game is. The point of it is to compete and have fun more than anything else. So that's, again, part of the glue, if you will, for any of the leagues that we run, is to bring those students together, to have some fun, announce a winner. There's always a winner in everything that we do. But for me, it's kind of secondary. It's really what brings them together. But the entire point of it is, what do you get out of it as a student? At the end of the day, competing, winning the championship, kudos to Leon and congratulations to them. But I think the value comes from the friendships that are earned from those competitions in that camaraderie, as well as the experience of going through what we brought them through to learn, hey, I actually like this. Or again, as we stated, I didn't like it so much, and that's okay too. We're trying to figure out what's that spark for each of those individuals that motivates them to move forward in that STEM topic. So anyway, great games.
Great games. Fun, different game. The see shuffleboard, use a soccer. Never thought I'd see the day. That's why I love video games so much, because people say, oh, man, I don't know how to play it. I say, well, we'll find a game for you. It's something out there for everyone to play, even if it's not competitive. Like, I remember my wife getting her on the Xbox, and I was like, we got this cooking game because she's a fantastic cook. We got Overcooked. So let's play some of that. She just don't like when the cars start drifting away from each other. She's like, I can't get to the oven. I'm like, well, we just got to wait. That's where the patience kicks in. So that's the beautiful part about gaming. If you don't, like I said, if you don't find something that you think or you've seen other, your friends play or anything like that, you're like, oh, man, I can't do that. But take your time, be patient, Google, search on Steam or Xbox Game Pass or something. It's a game for you out there for sure.
No doubt.
And with that, the esports portion does make up a portion of the overall final winner of this competition. It's a small portion, I will say. So
it's still a competition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will say, Ardrikel, as the highest placing finisher that is here today, does have a 5-point advantage basically over the other two schools.
From the gaming side of it.
From the esports side of it, basically. So with that, Leon won, but unfortunately didn't make the final 3 for the STEM portion. So those points kind of just go away. But Ardrikel got additional 10 points built into their final score. And the other two teams both finished tied for third. So both of them got an additional 5 points for their final score. So Ardrikel does have a very slight advantage coming into today now, thanks to Carson's effort on the esports side to get second place.
Okay. So talk to us about that. What's that judging look like as we go into all of this? Because really now we're at the point where this is why we're all here, right? It's time finally. The students have put in the time on the pitch decks, on their marketing materials, and everything that they needed to prepare to showcase what they're about to showcase here in the spin tank, so that everyone else out there understands kind of what goes into the scoring, what goes into the judging, and how are we fair all the way across the board. Justin, if you can walk us through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 4 criteria, basically, or 4 items that we're judging on throughout this process. Some that we've done before the show here today. So we did product ideation and the posters prior to the show. So product ideation, that was just worth 5 points. That was more of a, hey, you came up with a solid product, a product that we can use. This product's going to work. All of that kind of good stuff. The next step is that poster design that we saw the posters of today. Those were 15 points of the final score. So we looked at those. We said, hey, we like this poster. We like how it fits. This seems like something I'd see in the real world. And we gave feedback to that. The final big part of that is the pitch deck that they're going to be presenting here
today.
In just a few minutes. And everyone on broadcast might have heard them a time in the background in the other room as they were kind of presenting through, getting ready, getting excited.
Rehearsing. There you go. Getting ready.
It's been cool watching them collaborate, too.
For sure.
It is friendly competition here. It is not like, come for each other next style today. Everyone's been super friendly. Everyone connected pretty well last night. Everyone's having a great day today, it feels like, even for the early morning after the late night. So everyone's super into it, super excited. But that pitch deck, overall, both the presentation
Yep.
as a whole from the actual deck perspective, but how they present as well. On top of that, we're going to have a chance to ask some questions after we see those decks
Yeah.
as well. We'll coordinate all of that, and that will make up 80 points of it.
Wow.
And that is per judge. So each of us has 100 points total to give for each assignment. So the
Okay.
highest score that anyone can get today is 310. That is the highest you can get with the esports plus those 3 portions. So 310 is the highest score that you can get
Got
today.
it.
And they can get up to 80 points today.
Yep, they can
Got
earn
it.
80 points today based on the presentations that they are going to give here very shortly,
Love
per judge, basically. So yeah, there's a lot to earn.
So 80, if my math is right, 240 out of the 310 potentially.
Yeah,
First
absolutely.
goal.
Good point.
No pressure,
No.
but we are
All
excited to
fun.
see kind of what that all looks like. And I think see who comes out victorious. At the end of the day,
Yep.
I will preface that with saying, if you're here, if you competed in general, you've won in
Yep.
some capacity. You've been able to, again, get exposed to some of the things on the business side, get some exposure to some of those athletes, to some of those
Yep.
companies, to some of those colleges, and most importantly, hopefully develop a new friendship or two, right? Those are the takeaways, no matter whether you're here or not, period.
100%.
For those that are here, obviously have done exceptionally well. We're super excited to see what you bring to the table. We can only award one champion, but at the end of the day, you've done an incredible job to get to this point, and we're excited to see what that looks like.
For sure.
And with that, I think we're going to take a quick commercial break, and Audrey
More
Kell.
suspense.
Yeah, Audrey Kell's coming up first here in just a couple minutes.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh,
Yay. What's
Monday
up?
night, 6 o'clock.
Oh,
This time, Florida State plays Stanford.
I knew that was coming.
So when we're in the growth mindset, we're able to see that our failures are really learning opportunities, but they don't mean anything about me. I'm not a failure. I just did something that didn't work. So part of that is that ability to step outside of our comfort zone, to venture a little further, to try things and see them as opportunities to grow and recognize we're not going to get everything right. And this can speak into that mental health space of like, there may be stories you're tempted to tell yourself. And for me, certainly when I was younger, a lot of it was about perfectionism, like getting it just right, being perfect. And like that mindset can get us stuck in that fixed space, which is not really helpful for growth and for development, and frankly, just for enjoyment of like your life and your career at large.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
Yeah, I would say going into, I think it was freshman year of high school is when DA first started. And I think that was the first year where I really saw, like you're saying, the scope and the amount of players that are high level and competitive and looking to play D1. And I think I always had it in my mind that I wanted to take it as far as I could. I think something that helped me was just focusing on the day-to-day, and it's so cliche, but just like the little things, and kind of just reminding myself why I'm playing soccer and having fun with it and putting in the extra work and all those things. But I think just focusing on one game at a time, one season at a time really helped me in the long run, and not getting too caught up in rankings and where people are committing and all those things, because I think that can be a distraction and those type of things.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
I mean, I've definitely can say that I've gotten caught up in that at times, and I have a bad game and it's affecting me the next day, and you can really get in a poor mental state. But I think something that I've grown in and learned throughout my college years and playing with the national team and maybe not getting minutes and things like that, is just how can I be a great teammate and how can I show up in that way. And I think that's really helped me. If I'm a great teammate and I'm communicating on the field and off the field, I'm lifting others up and I'm asking for help and I'm asking for support, then it really doesn't matter what I'm doing on the field because I'm controlling the controllables and I'm controlling my mindset and my effort.
So I feel like there's three things I do want to share with you when you think about just where you are in your life and where potentially it will go. It's like, one, just to give you the idea that your plan is probably going to change. You know, the things that you want right now will probably evolve. They may look a little different in a year, 2 years, 5, 10, like who knows where it goes. But it's really important that you follow your curiosity and your interest. So where your curiosity is piqued and you want to know more about it, dig in.
Taylor Huff at the back post, and this is the cross you need. Whipped in, past the first defender, first time finish from Huff. What a delightful goal for Bay FC. A little bit against the run of play right now. You gotta love this.
So for me, it's just learning from and observing, I think, is a huge part of the way I go about things. And I think if you're learning and observing, then you can learn how to be better for the next time, because at the end of the day, no one's perfect, and we all can look back and wish we did things differently and wish we affected people differently. But yeah, I think just having that growth mindset and just realizing how can I affect the people around me in the most positive way, because the people that I look back on in my career, it's like I don't remember, like, of course you remember the great players and the ones who scored the goals and got you the winning game, but it's like, who can I reach out to if this happens in my life? Like, who am I calling at the end of the day? And I hope to say, like, I had an impact on their lives where they feel comfortable enough if they're going through something that they can call me, because life is so much more than sport. And I think, yes, sports brings everyone together, and that's the great part of it. But I think what you're saying is just amazing. It's like, who you are as a person. Like, I want to be known for being a great person and great leader, great teammate, and just trying to get better each day. It's like I might show up one day and I might be down, but it's like the next day, how can I build someone up? And I think that's what I'm learning as I'm going out, still young in this environment, but just really taking a look at myself and being like, why am I here? Yes, to play soccer and to be a great person in my profession, but it's also, there's a different aspect to it where just wanting to be a good person at the end of the day.
Not just mindset, but how do you take care of yourself, your mental health. And I think that that's a big part of this. It's like not just pushing towards work or maybe around your studies, but also thinking about that bigger picture and how you can find joy in things that often will be very difficult. And so development allows us to find that balance between developing a skill set, but also really taking.
Well, the moment of truth, as they say, right?
Yeah, it all leads to this.
Right before we got on camera here, we were all kind of leaning up as we see the pitch deck that's on our screens, and we're super excited to see kind of how that all plays out. Notice someone new joining us on our team here, Michaela Rodriguez. We are so excited to have you here from Ardrey Kell High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. She has been, voted on to come out and be the one to make the presentation. I'll give you a little background. Michaela does play for the soccer team at Ardrey Kell, and she already has a championship ring, if I'm not mistaken. They are a powerhouse in the state of North Carolina, coached by an incredible staff led by Kim Montgomery. But with that, you had to do some different type of work besides soccer on this one, right? So I know we were talking off screen. This is new for you. First time you'll be doing this, but I'm super excited about that as a parent, knowing that you're going to do this, and now you can check this off your box as one of the things that you have done. That's the whole purpose of what we do, so that's what excites me. With that, we're going to just jump right into it, right? So as you see it on your screen, you'll be able to walk us through exactly what your product is based on your presentation, and we'll go from there. Any of the judges, anything to add at this point?
No, it's, good luck. Here we go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Hi guys, I'm Michaela Rodriguez. I'm very thankful for this opportunity, and this is my product, Seat Dash. This is the logo.
Nice.
Okay, have you ever been to get a drink or a pretzel, and you missed the only goal of the game?
Yep.
Yep. Been there. Been there, done that.
Well, imagine never missing a play because you're stuck in line for food. That's why we created Seat Dash. Concession lines are very long, and fans miss game moments. And for the fear of missing moments, people don't get food and stadiums lose revenue as well. Okay. Fans spend hundreds on tickets but waste precious minutes waiting for nachos. Stadiums are trying to find a fix to this, but we found it for them. SeatDash is a mobile app that fans can use to order concessions right to their seat. It is a food delivery app specifically for stadiums. How does this work? Fans will scan their ticket into the app, and then it will bring up the menu. Fans can add things to their cart and check out, like any other delivery app. Then the workers will make the orders and deliver it to the fans. The concession managers will have access to update the live menu as needed. Who does SeatDash really benefit? The main target is the fans. They won't miss any moments of the game. It will also allow fans to stay around and watch halftime shows. They don't have to waste their halftime in a line. But the fans aren't the only ones who benefit. Fans are 40% more likely to buy concessions, leading to higher stadium revenues. Along with higher revenues, there's less problems. With less people walking around, there's less problems, and it makes it easier for security to monitor everyone and avoid problems. What are the advantages? It's more convenient for the fans. They don't have to get up and miss moments. And then they can see live menu updates. It also creates operational efficiency. The aisles are less congested, and with less crowding, stadiums are safer. SeatDash will also be for more than just the FIFA World Cup. It will be available for any stadium entertainment venue. The app will collect real-time insights like fan preferences, order trends, and NC engagement. And again, the less movement throughout the games makes the stadium safer. What is the market opportunity? The smart stadium market is projected to double by 2030. At the 2022 World Cup, fans spent 39% more than they did in 2018. SeatDash is predicted to increase these numbers again this World Cup. It taps into the growing trend of tech-driven fan experience. SeatDash will continue to grow the smart stadium and sports tech industries. It's also predicted for fans to spend roughly 40% more, which significantly increases revenue for everyone. SeatDash not only elevates the in-person experience, it allows for companies and brands to advertise and create sponsorships and partners. Like I explained previously, operationally, it's improved stadium experience. SeatDash offers an end-to-end solution that improves ROI of modern standard initiatives. And in 1 year, we expect revenues around $250K from 3 to 5 stadiums, partnerships, and by year 3, scaling to 25 stadiums, we project $5 to $7 million in annual revenue. Now, what will we do with this $250K? The funds will be going towards app development, stadium integration pilots, and marketing to secure our first major venue contracts. What makes SeatDash different? It's built specifically for live events, it optimizes crowd flow, and it's scalable globally. For customer experience, fans, they have higher satisfaction, and they love the convenience. And then for stadium manager, like I said, it increased sales, it reduces concourse congestion. Now the takeaways from SeatDash is that it has it's confident, so it has clear revenue and strategy, preparedness, the logistics and rules are considered, and scalability, global stadium market opportunities with many different live venues. Now our ask is $250K for 15%. That's it.
Awesome.
Great job.
Wow. That was good.
Who wants to go first?
I mean, first of all, I'll say I'm very impressed by the presentation as a whole. And honestly, I think the most impressive part was thinking about not only how it impacts us as the consumer, but how it impacts the stadium as a whole. I think that is super impressive, super unique to be able to talk about how security manager, I would have never thought about safety
Right.
in terms of how a food app could benefit a stadium. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So I'll kind of ask you this about it then. So as far as employees needed for this kind of app to be at a stadium, do they need to hire more employees? Are they using current employees? What would you tell a stadium that would be using your product for the first time in terms of what staffing they need to run this?
I think that it would require more employees because I think people would want to use it more. Like there would be if you think about it, there's a lot of people at a stadium, and there's probably gonna a lot of people don't want to miss any of the game, so it would require more employees to work and deliver because there's a lot of people in the stadium.
So, just dovetailing off of that, that's kind of where my mind went for a couple of things. You look at FIFA World Cup as an example. You know, you'll have 60,000 fans in these stadiums. But I love the brilliance of the product because you're right. You know, a lot of people don't want to miss the action. And then at the half, you don't want to be in a line that's all the way out the door, right? At the same token. So any type of convenience mechanism that you can impose on that is just brilliant at the end of the day. I do know there are some stadiums to date that do offer that type of convenience, but it's usually kind of your front row and you get catered to, and that's already going to cost you thousands of dollars. So if you can bring that uniquely to every participant, that's a game changer. But to your point, there's 60,000 fans in the stadium.
Yeah.
I can't hire 60,000 new employees to cater, because now what happens if every single person's like, well, this is convenient as heck, I'm going to just use this and stay here. You see what I'm saying? Normally you've got, I don't know what's behind a counter for each of their booths for food, etc. But it's not 60,000 employees. Not that you would need that many, but you kind of get how that would work, right? There's a ton more employees those stadiums would have to employ to constantly be going out to the seats. So just an idea, and I may give you the 250 here. How about if we set up like a locker in front of those food concession stands where now all of the food is going directly, the minute it's done, it's going into the locker, your app dings you. Now you're just taking a minute to go up, open your locker, get your food, and come back. Now, it's not your designated locker, but it's numbered so that when you ordered food, you know where you can go pick up the food and just get right back, because it's only one person going to that locker per time. So it cuts the time massively. And then from an employee workforce, I don't need to be going to every seat. I just need to put that food in that locker. You pick it up, and you're done. So just a thought, because I'm on board. I'm on board.
And Rick's touching on something that comes up typically in these kinds of conversations with investors, that they have new ideas on how to solve other problems and their solutions. So I'm going to actually give you another solution, and you can choose mine or Rick's and which ones you like, and it'll make one of us smile, one of us frown. So I think one of the great things about other food delivery apps that we've seen is that people can become their own employer. They can work their own hours. They can work their own opportunities. What if the app allows, similar to those kinds of apps, someone to pick, I want to work this stadium for this event, and then they're coming in just for the day, basically as a contract for that. So I feel like that's another way you could go about it as well. But
Sure.
I'm going to let you decide, Michaela. Which one do you like better out of our two ideas?
Wow. putting you on the spot.
Unless Amon has a third to make
No,
it
I don't
harder.
have a third. No.
Okay, so my thing about the locker situation is like, does this mean like every person would have to have a locker to get their food? Or
Nope.
it's, like,
So imagine a concession stand with a lockers, numbered from 1 to 100.
yeah,
And I'm customer A, and when my food is ready, it says, hey, go to locker number 2. They go, now that locker is empty again, so customer number C, their food can now go into locker number 2. And they
Okay.
just go pick it up, and then they come back. And that just makes it obviously a little bit more streamlined. So as the food service providers are getting it done, they're just putting it in their locker as needed.
Yep.
If there's alcohol related to that, then they can scan their ID, which would match up whatever's on their app to make it super easy and simple. So it's just a quicker process of, hey, I'm going to go get it, but it's going to take me a minute, and I'm
Yeah.
going to come right back without having to worry about, someone not showing up for work or not getting enough people there. Even if they sign up, that's just a dumb idea.
yeah. Okay, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Sorry.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Competition right here.
I like Justin's idea too.
Yeah, no, they're both. I mean,
There's an in-between.
we have friendly banner. You don't
Yeah.
have to choose
Yeah, yeah.
Michaela. We're giving you, what we're doing is giving you feedback
Yeah,
Feedback.
because you're the owner. At the end of the day, you may say, I don't like any of those ideas.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with what I want to go with and kind of go from there. But feedback is good because not everyone sees the world the same.
exactly.
And when you're trying to cater to so many people, when this does scale, you want to streamline it and learn and do better and better so that your product is the number one product on the market because there's copycats, right? There's iPhone, there's Samsung, et cetera, right? Which is a good thing. But in general,
Yep.
I thought fantastic presentation. Like I said, I'm on board. I would love for this product to be something that's out there today because, to your point, you bring up some critical parts of what it can accomplish other than just the convenience for the fan. It makes the entire experience safer for everyone involved. It allows the stadium to generate a lot more revenue because you're right. A lot of people just don't go because I'm not going to wait in that line.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to go wait in that line. So by default, they can potentially even offer more product because now they realize, yeah, we're going to have an overflow. We're actually going to have people engage and use this product and get a lot more out of it, which makes the fan experience a lot better as well.
Right.
So
No, I'll say I add on to it. I'm definitely on board. I kind of see both variations, and now you could use that as great feedback and obviously brainstorming. But my one question for you is, what was the one experience? I know it being a project part of this initiative, right?
Mhm.
But did you have an experience or a family member or friend have the experience of missing out that big hit or big moment in a game? What was that inspiration?
Yeah, I think it's just not wanting to miss any of the game because like I play soccer, so I know like no one wants to miss big moments of games and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I like watching the whole game and being there, and you never know what's gonna happen. So this is a product that is helpful, very helpful for not missing a game. So like
get
any
your
moment.
get your water, your popcorn, and still see the entirety of the
Exactly.
entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part, especially for kids, for parents, right? They bring kids along. Let's say it's a baseball game. I've got great experience there where I want cotton candy and it's never ending what they want. I could be in line for the entire game potentially sometimes, right? So at the end of the day, an app like this is, here you go, knock yourself out,
Yeah.
right? So again, the convenience, love the product. At the end of the day, love the product.
Yeah, great
Certainly with
idea.
any product, there's always kinks to work out. Great presentation. Like I said, I'm on board. I was first one to say I'm in, so y'all.
Oh yeah, that's how it works. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, no, I'd be in the same boat. I think that's a fair amount of money to get off the ground too, and I think that's a great ask, honestly. So I'm super impressed by the entire product. It's certainly needed. A lot of people imagine it. I'm shocked no one's executed on it exactly yet. I know there's some companies that are starting to. I know the Clippers now have all those cameras around in their facility
Correct.
that you can just
Yeah.
grab and go, and the cameras track everything on your phone instantly, so that
Correct.
you literally don't have to interact with anyone to get stuff
Oh,
there.
wow.
Correct.
But I think this is, much more accessible and much more adaptable to whatever the individual's need is, because otherwise you're just
Individually.
grabbing what you want.
Correct, and it's also quicker because some of those kiosks have a certain selection only.
Yep.
To your point, how about if I want that vendor that's all the way across the stadium? Well, this can certainly provide for that. And even in those kiosks, you can have a little bit of a build-up in those critical moments, like halftime or end of the second quarter, whatever the sport is, et cetera, et cetera. Another part of the presentation that I thought was critical that you brought up is obviously the scalability, right? This is where we are, this is where we expect to go, and this is where we hope to be, a few years down the road. So we can see the vision of growth, because that's important as an investor to say, okay, great, but where are you? And then where can this go? Obviously, the product's not on the market yet, so there's nothing you can say as this is what we've done. This is all kind of projected. But you did your time and the research, you and your team back at RGCal, to kind of come up with how can this all work and how can we make money? Because you go into business to make money at the end of the day. So I thought that was a critical component to your pitch as well.
Yeah, good job.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
good work.
How'd you feel going through it?
Yeah,
I mean, these flashcards help me.
there you go. Wasn't that hard, was it?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Good. Well, I think you did a fantastic
Experience
job.
gained.
Thank you.
And with no further comments, I think we'll roll into the next high school and see how it all plays out.
All right.
Yeah, well,
Good
go on
job.
the
High
break.
Thank
five.
you, Michaela.
High
Break,
five.
do some
Well,
scores.
great
Friends
job.
up
Yeah.
next.
Great
Thank
job.
you so much. And we'll be
Good
right back
job.
in a few minutes, y'all.
There you go.
Got it done. You got it.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
Yeah, I would say going into, I think it was freshman year of high school is when DA first started. And I think that was the first year where I really saw, like you're saying, the scope and the amount of players that are high level and competitive and looking to play D1. And I think I always had it in my mind that I wanted to take it as far as I could. I think something that helped me was just focusing on the day-to-day, and it's so cliche, but just like the little things, and kind of just reminding myself why I'm playing soccer and having fun with it and putting in the extra work and all those things. But I think just focusing on one game at a time, one season at a time really helped me in the long run, and not getting too caught up in rankings and where people are committing and all those things, because I think that can be a distraction and those type of things.
Or do they stay with Curry on that left-hand side?
Maddie Darlene. Darlene went for goal and scored! Her first professional goal comes in Cascadia! Wow, what a finish!
I follow kind of the same motto whenever I step into a new environment, and I think that's getting 1% better every day. And whether that is on the soccer field or off the field, being a better teammate or even being a better student, like I'm still in school. So navigating that has been really difficult, but I think just in whatever aspect I choose to focus on for that day, if it's, getting my left foot crossing or shooting 1% better, or being better about my time management for school, I just think like having that focus towards something that's tangible is just really important.
So I feel like there's three things I do want to share with you when you think about just where you are in your life and where potentially it will go. It's like, one, just to give you the idea that your plan is probably going to change. The things that you want right now will probably evolve. They may look a little different in a year, 2 years, 5, 10, like who knows where it goes. But it's really important that you follow your curiosity and your interest. So where your curiosity is piqued and you want to know more about it, dig in. When I think about my career as a whole, I'm like, was that my plan? And the answer is no, like not exactly. Inside of that, there were plans, like Did I want to open a business? Yes. Did I want that first business to be in festivals and events? Yes. Did I think that'd be the business I'd run forever? At the time, yes. But there was a moment where that plan changed.
Or do they stay with Curry on that left-hand side?
Maddie Darlene. Darlene went for goal and scored! Her first professional goal comes in Cascadia! Wow, what a finish!
I think it's really important, like you speak about the social media piece of things. I think it's really important to not compare yourself to others. Your journey is so singularly unique to yourself. And I think going through my journey throughout my collegiate career, it wasn't picture perfect for me of how I wanted it to go. And I think I had so many ups and downs, but those moments propelled me forward and actually allowed me to really have a great first professional season because I'd been through a lot of hardships throughout my college career. And I think the biggest piece for me when you talk about mental health and focusing on yourself, I think it's just worrying about the things that you can control, and all the outside noise, and like you said, the outside news sources, if they are just focusing on the PK. I think it's so important to have a confidence within and really just having a tight-knit circle that is really supportive, and just I think it's okay to be vulnerable and talk about something that maybe bothered you online or just something you're going through mentally, and I think just leaning on the people around you is really important.
Taylor Huff at the back post, and this is the cross you need. Whipped in, past the first defender, first time finish from Huff. What a delightful goal for Bay FC. A little bit against the run of play right now. You gotta love this.
Yeah, I had great people around me just pushing me and constantly being like, you can do this, which is amazing. And obviously I looked up to Alex Morgan growing up and everything that she's done for soccer in general. It's like honestly where I am today because someone has paved the way. But yeah, I think I just had great, amazing people around me who constantly built me up. And I think that's so important and why I love this, what you're doing too. It's like you need people to lift you up and have those people and voices in your life that can tell you, yes, you can do whatever you set your mind to.
And welcome back, y'all. We have Smart Kick coming up next. Coming to us from Kearns Academy. So we have our second person coming in here to present today. So welcome in, Esther. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling a little nervous, but that's expected.
Well,
Of course.
You've seen one now, and you've seen the three of us. We're all just silly, goofy guys around here. So you'll probably get him yell Florida State during the middle of your presentation. But other than that, I think you'll be good to go.
Why would I yell Florida State?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways.
The star of the show is not Florida State today. It is Esther with her presentation here. So without further ado, we're going to get you started. Everyone will see what you are talking about on the screen. So feel free to tell us a little bit more about Smart Kick.
Well, thank you guys for having me here. In today's technology, a lot of, like technology tracks everything you do. Like, for example, smartwatches that monitor health and give us useful insights, and tech that helps us understand and improve our performances. Well, if you're a huge soccer person and want to play like Messi, but your skills are a little bit messy, no pun intended.
There you go. I like that.
Smart Kick is an intelligent training system that uses real-life analytics to help players improve their skills. So instead of just practicing and hoping for results and not knowing exactly what's wrong, Players instantly get feedback on every kick and every movement. So, next. How does this work? Well, our system has 3 connected parts. First, we have the smart ball, which has sensors inside the ball to measure the kick, speed, angle, and spin. The wearable sensors, which you wear on your ankle, this tracks your foot movement, your speed, and your position. And the mobile app, the app that brings everything together, shows the data, gives personalized drills, and supports remote coaching. So, who is the target audience? Well, we designed SmartKick for a wide range of users. First of all, youth players who want stronger fundamental skills but don't really have the money for coaching. Semi-professional players that are trying to level up. Coaches who want data-driven insights. And soccer clubs and academies looking for modelized training. Well, the sports technology is growing fast, and soccer is one of the biggest youth sports in America and across the world. More players want tools that helps them improve quicker, and more coaches want accurate data, not just from observation. That's where SmartKick comes in. The soccer equipment and next. The soccer equipment and wearable tech markets are both expanding, which means the demand for advanced training tools are rising, and SmartKicks fits right into that trend. We're offering technology that players and coaches are already looking at. Well, the Smart Ball is $20. The wearable sensors, which are a pair, both of them combined is $80. And then the mobile app subscription is about $10 a month or $100 per year. You know, a lot of people want to be able to reach that level of success really fast when it comes to sports and want to be millionaires because who wouldn't? But hiring a private soccer coach can cost anywhere between $40 to $80 per hour, depending on everything they're giving you. And if a player trains weekly, that adds up to almost $2,000 to $4,000 per year. SmartKids gives players constant feedback, not just for 1 hour a week. And our entire system costs around $350 for the first year, and after that, it's only $100 per year. So that is much less than, hiring a soccer coach. After that, SmartKid gives long-term unlimited training for a fraction of the price for a private coach. Also, when you hire coaches, the coach gives you tips based on their experience and what they've seen. But in our app, you can actually choose what type of training you want to do in case one doesn't work out for you. And a lot of humans can't just come up with hundreds of different types of training that they want you to do just off of their head. So I feel like that is more better. Cool. Based off our pricing, we estimate that selling 1,000 Kick Smart bundles at $250 each would generate around $250,000 add-in app subscriptions. Brings our first year revenue estimated about $3,000. With schools and academic partnership, our revenue could rise between $600,000 to about $700,000. This shows strong financial potential for SmartKick. So, why does SmartKick stands out? While other products focuses on just the ball or the player, SmartKicks combines everything together. We give a full performance. We give a picture of the full performance, the kick, the movement, the strategy, all in one system. That makes us more complete and more useful than competitors. Our product is useful because SmartKicks helps player improve faster because it shows exactly what they're doing right and what they need to fix. Some people, when they play soccer or any sport, they don't know exactly what they're doing wrong. If they constantly practice, but it's not like they're not getting better, they don't know exactly what they're missing. So when our wearable sensors track exactly what position your foot is and how hard you kick, it is most likely to give you an accurate feedback of what you need to do to get better at it. It works in any weather. The ball is durable, and the system gives a summary of your overall performance each time you practice or play. So you can be by yourself. You don't have to be like in a really, mood to like try hard and like play. You can just play with your friends or just a little, here and there practice, and that still gives you feedback. Well, I want about 1.5 million for 15%. I would use this funding to develop my product, market, manufacture, and expand our team of individuals. Thank you so much for listening.
All right. How'd you feel going through it?
I eased up. I started out a little bit tense, and then I just calmed down, Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. Great product. Again, see the use case of it. I've lived through it with a daughter that plays. I'm sure Michaela can speak to it a little bit as well as a soccer player. Overall, fantastic. I think similar type criticism I would give would be your price point.
A little high.
No, I'm thinking the opposite. I'm thinking it's way too low. I'm thinking it's way too low. You even kind of brought it up in your presentation a little bit, meaning I think if I remember correctly, all in for the product was somewhere around $350 for the year, with an additional tailing subscription year over year for about another $100 per year. In your pitch, you also mentioned that a session of training could be $80, which is dead on accurate. It could be incredibly expensive. So if you think about that, for a incredibly talented high school soccer player that would want to utilize this type of application, they're probably spending that in a month. Literally in 1 month, they're probably going to $350, $400, $500, right? If you look at the collegiate space or the professional space, they have the budgets to do even more. So not overly concerned about your pricing. I would look at it almost as a tier model, right? Maybe I'm a beginner. I'm just learning how to play soccer and I just want to get better at it. Can this help me? Well, sure. Here's our beginning module. And it starts at this price and it gives you these features and that's it. To uncover more, as a high school athlete, we can give you this. As a collegiate model for your entire team, we can do all of this, pro the same, but now you're talking thousands upon thousands of dollars at those levels to really capitalize on the competitive nature of the field. Because I can promise you, the Florida States, the Stanfords, the teams that compete at a high level year in and year out, they're always looking for an advantage. Always. And if your product can help with that, they'll write the check. Absolutely, they'll write the check. But you also want to be cognizant of, how do I get a young child that is just starting out and may not know much about soccer, how do I get them engaged to want to play and want to get better without it costing $1,000? So I think a tier model might be beneficial to look at, depending on where you are and where you live in your space. This is how it could work. That's one. And then I think a secondary source of potential monetization is camps and training in general. Like, imagine if the head coaches that are here this weekend, or any of the great coaches in the collegiate space or professional space, more in the collegiate space, they host camps every summer to help supplement their own income. Well, imagine if they can put a training module together for their community to say, hey, I'll follow along and I'll give you feedback on the results here. Or someone that's going into the collegiate space. I'll use Michaela as an example. She'll be going to Virginia Tech. Imagine if those coaches can say, hey, this is the program we do for our players. You can do it if you like, but then now she buys your product because now they can kind of monitor and give her even tips to, hey, you want to open up a little bit more so you can get a little bit more leverage behind your kick, or that'll give you a little bit more accuracy, et cetera, et cetera. Again, that's almost invaluable for those coaches to potentially make some additional income by using your product, which means if they're making income, you're making income too. So overall, I think the use case is fantastic. You can go anywhere, right? Whether you're a starter or a pro, doesn't matter, or anywhere in between, which is typically where you're going to find the most use, and looking at understanding the value to the user and what they're willing to pay for it. Now, not everyone, even at the high school space, if they're competitive, can afford certain things, and that's fine. You can, again, tailor make it based on what they're getting. And the reality is, if the product does what you're telling them it can do, they're just going to keep coming back for more. Well, it helped me so far. Let me open up the next tier because it's only going to help me get better, right? So those are my quick thoughts on just from that perspective. I thought everything else, again, we're in a data analytics world where every type of advantage you can get from data is going to matter. So I think the product makes a ton of sense. Great use cases. I think you're bringing it all together by bringing the app, kind of the ball, and kind of everything in one package, as opposed to I got to just do this or I got to just do that. So you make it incredibly user friendly to have all of the components right there in front of you to take advantage of. I would just look at the price.
Yeah. I say for me as a former athlete, didn't play, I didn't grow up playing soccer, but still football, baseball, basketball, brought it up already. Knowing that, getting analytics would be huge for me, as a player and now coach, to help develop that for my players to see who's lacking in certain places. So I love that about the product. I say just remind me on the price sets. You said 20.
So for about like the whole package,
Yeah.
if you want to buy the whole package,
Right.
it'd be around like $350. But then
So was it the all added together, or would that be, because I know you mentioned several, though, it was like $20 for this, 30 for that.
I think it was like 20 for the ball, 100 for the subscription. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
So the ball is $120, and then the wearable sensors, which is 2, but so
Yeah.
about to be like 40 each. So 80 for the wearable sensors, and then the mobile app prescription is $10 per month. So it's gonna be $350 for the first year, and then after that, you don't have to pay for like
The equipment.
Like, the equipment, you can just put in batteries.
Gotcha.
And
Right.
yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, I do agree with Rick. You definitely want to up your price there, because I was just trying to get all the numbers and the different things you were charging for, and you put that as for $350 in a year for a year. That's so you might want to relook at that part of it, because definitely got a lot of value in that you want to make sure you're efficient, and where as the company you can make more money, but also be fair to the client as well. And I say right now you're just underselling yourself on that, because that's the thing. What you got is a really good product. Like I said, as a player, as an athlete, knowing little details from kicking the ball and putting the right spin on the ball. If you watched the game last night, how the ball sometimes would definitely hit the ground and then accelerate. That stuff is important for a player, knowing how their timing coming around to try to stop the ball and kick it, or stop the ball and pass it. That's huge for me, as a player. So just knowing that and seeing the data that's going to get collected from the ball and the sensors, I think that's a big win for any athlete out there, from a beginner to a pro. So good job. Good job.
Agreed.
Yeah. And honestly, I kind of like the price from the get-go to start, just to kind of start getting a lot of people on early. And I also think like this kind of tech, I feel like it's also aimed for people who might not be able to afford a coach to some extent early on. To have something that is more of a one-time purchase, and spending $350 for a year feels very fair to me to get off the ground running. And then you can kind of build on that equipment as well.
100% agree. No, I just make sure I don't want to confuse my messaging. I 1,000,000% agree with you. I think that price point increases the ability for any player potentially to jump on and start with soccer and get better, and then you can get them to do more and more based on their success with that. But I also believe that you have your high-end soccer players too, right? At the end of the day, that they're desperate. They
Yeah.
want to get, they're competing just to get on the field to play, some of these folks, right? Especially as they go higher up the scale and always looking at what advantage do I have to get better. And I do know they train religiously, right? They practice with their teams, and then they'll go to training once or twice a week potentially,
On
right?
their own.
Or even on their own. They'll kick the ball against the wall. That's a very common thing. And them being able to see the data from that is significant. So I think your product is spot on in terms of what it can accomplish. But I also know today there's a ton of trainers throughout the country that do charge, 50, 80, 100 or more even per session, period. So I think, but that creates a different type of opportunity. Like I was saying, imagine if you can promote, hey, with my product, go get trained by ABC Coach, which is a great coach. Virtually, they're going to read all of your data and give you feedback. That's huge. That's huge for, again, that more competitive player. So I think it can play a role in, hey, here's our introductory price, and this is who this is geared for. And it could even still be for a high-level person that's just, I just want to try this out and see if this works. And then they buy into more.
I think, I definitely think I need to up the prices.
Let's
for
go.
those- Wait, for those who really are desperate to want to get anything, just a little detail,
Sure.
just any little detail. So it will start off, the same price for those who need, who don't have money, a
Yep.
lot
Sure.
of money, and just want to just be active, but also want to get better at the sport.
100%.
And then there's gonna be different levels. How
Yep.
far are you willing to go?
Agreed. I'd go so far as to say you almost should have almost a free model where you still have to buy the equipment, but you get some feedback on your data for free, because that's enticing as a sales tool. Meaning, this helped me already. With this little bit of data, I was able to understand why I don't kick the ball as hard as I potentially could. Oh, but to get to this level, I have to pay a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. But again, it's up to them, right? It's their personalized journey that you're able to provide them. And the higher up they go, the more they unlock, the more they learn, the better they get. But now you're obviously dictating that to someone who wants that specialization. They want to get better versus your casual, I just need a little bit of input so I can learn how to play and have some fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like ChatGPT. When you put stuff in,
Yeah.
and it gives you what you need for free.
Yep.
But how far are you willing to go to
Correct.
get exactly what you
Bingo.
want? So, and then they want you to pay for that.
Bingo.
So, yeah, I like that idea. I also like yours. Just
But I think it's a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Because again, you want this available to everybody on earth that plays soccer. Period. You don't want to be the company, well, we can't afford that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's that introductory point that leads them to those tiers that are above that. And then if it works the way you say it does, then you'll have the UCLAs, the Virginia Techs, the Stanfords, the Florida States all kind of coming to you saying, hey, we want this for our team. And we'll pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars because that's what they spend on technology to make their programs better.
Yeah.
So makes sense to me.
Yeah, and what Rick and Justin's talking about is basically the athletes getting better, through the product. And once they see the increases of the athlete playing better, then that's where you'll get the big schools, top-notch players from around the world or around the country, buying into this product because they said, look, man, they'll do it. Then it'll be word of mouth. It'll be natural, organic promotion that's going from athlete. Hey, man, check this out. This is the product I fell up on, and I start using it last season. Now you see the difference in my gameplay. And so you have that happen, that interaction too, on top of your own promotion as well. So that would be a solid, happy, I say, give to you and your company.
Yeah. So we want you to be a billionaire, not a millionaire. So there you go.
Yeah.
But
you hear him. He's been an entrepreneur once or twice.
So
clearly.
with that, I think going back to your pitch in general, I think fantastic job overall. So kudos to you, Esther. Really, really strong. Not just with what the product is, but how you were able to pitch it. One, your ask I thought was a lot of money, but you need it, right, to get started and get incorporated and get off the ground with this type of equipment and et cetera that you need to help support with the app and everything else. For the percentage of equity, so you're very clear, concise, and kind of what that is, as well as what you expect this company to grow to be, which you have to paint that picture for the investors that say, okay, well, I can write that check. Again, I think the product makes a ton of sense. So Very encouraged by our first two presenters, y'all,
Yeah.
in terms of what they're able to bring to the table.
And I want to
Definitely
ask
interested.
one real question as well, just to kind of get your thoughts and ideas on expansion over time. Because obviously, like, price will go up as new tech comes out. You'll probably be able to have multiple versions. Like, there's multiple versions of phones every year, all of that kind of stuff. So there's lots of great stuff you can do there. But I'm kind of curious as to the target audience and the people who are going to get this product. What age do you think someone like this would start using this tech? Could I put my the 7-year-old in my life on it right now and have her go out there and play her first game of soccer ever with this tech on? Would that benefit her? And at the same time, would it benefit a whole team to have this technology at once instead of just individuals? Because I think a lot of this, when people first think about it, they think, oh, it's something that goes on an individual person. This should be primarily meant for an individual. But now we're talking about what can this look like for if an entire high school team has it, an entire college team has it. I'd be interested to hear your perspective in terms of what age someone might start using this tech and how you see that being used maybe by a team as well in the future.
Oh, okay. So for the age, I want to say any age can use it, but that's obviously not true because your average 1-year-old can't even read. So I would say about like 13 going, because they're able to understand clearly. And I mean, it's not the like feedback are not really difficult. They don't use like really hard words and like like different type of muscle names and stuff like that. So I guess it's really easy for anyone to like read the feedback and then understand what exactly they need to do. And for the team, since the app is like an app and you have to sign in and stuff like that, I really think I would be able to add like a group sharing. So, the soccer ball is only one soccer ball, you're playing, and then everyone, adds their account. And then there's one ball. Everyone has their own wearable sensors. And as soon as you get the ball, the Bluetooth, it connects and it knows that you have the ball. So then it starts telling you what you need to do, and then your team, like who to pass it to. And it's just kind of like that dynamic. So yeah, we will be working on that.
Let me ask really quick. Did you come with that on the spot, or did you have that coming in here?
Well, that was one thing that my team was talking about, but we didn't really get into it because we were mostly talking about like just like individual. But yeah, I did come.
Okay. No, I was going to say that was awesome.
Yeah, brilliant.
That was a great answer.
Great job.
So, great job.
And improv.
Yeah, great job, Esther, representing Kearns. Obviously, you collectively came up with this product, but here's how we'll go to market, to answer your question. We'll find the best travel club soccer program in the country. Like Solar is one of them. They're based out of Texas. We'll give them this product for free. And follow my logic. We'll go to Florida State after they win the championship on Monday night. We'll give them this product for free. We'll find the best soccer trainer in the country, or maybe a pro player like a Trinity Rodman or Sophia Smith, whomever, and say, hey, we want you to get paid to help us with some training tips that we'll put on the module. Because then guess what you can say? Hey, just like used by Solar, the best club out here, don't you want to be like them? Or just like used by this college program that just won, don't you want to be like them? Or this ambassador, Sophia Smith, whomever, they'll help you get better. So again, I think there's so many different opportunities that you can present on how to roll this out. But to your point, I think you're right. 13 and up, that's when they really start to get competitive and start to look at individual training, having to work more, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So brilliant stuff.
Good job. Great job. High five.
Awesome. Appreciate it. And we'll take one more commercial break, and then we'll be back with our final
Back with
presenter,
Quest.
Quest Forward.
Very good.
So when we're in the growth mindset, we're able to see that our failures are really learning opportunities, but they don't mean anything about me. I'm not a failure. I just did something that didn't work. So part of that is that ability to step outside of our comfort zone, to venture a little further, to try things and see them as opportunities to grow and recognize we're not going to get everything right. And this can speak into that mental health space of like, there may be stories you're tempted to tell yourself. And for me, certainly when I was younger, a lot of it was about perfectionism, like getting it just right, being perfect. Like that mindset can get us stuck in that fixed space, which is not really helpful for growth and for development and frankly, just for enjoyment of like your life and your career at large.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
I mean, I definitely can say that I've gotten caught up in that at times, and I have a bad game, and it's affecting me the next day, and you can really get in a poor mental state. But I think something that I've grown in and learned throughout my college years and playing with the national team and maybe not getting minutes and things like that, is just how can I be a great teammate and how can I show up in that way. And I think that's really helped me. If I'm a great teammate and
And welcome on back. We have to have one tech difficulty per stream. Can't go without one. So we are back here. We got our final presentation with ArenaScope coming from Quest Ford, who drove here for this event this weekend. We have Vivian joining us today. Vivian, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. How's your weekend been so far? Pretty chill, or a lot of excitement? What do you think so far?
Pretty chill, pretty chill.
Okay, awesome.
Well, we are super excited to hear. We've had 2 stellar presentations so far. We expect the same here. Super excited to hear about ArenaScope. As I shared earlier, I was the one kind of looking back at the scoreboard. So dive on into it for us.
Okay. I want you to imagine something for me, all right? You've brought your family to a soccer game. You're trying to watch, but you're in the front top row, away from all the action. You're having to squint, having to look at the scoreboard. There's people bobbing up and down. You can't see what's going on. This is where our product comes in. So ArenaScope is a pair of sunglasses that digitally integrates zooming and like stabilization into your like view of the arena. So it's like being in the front seat without the price of a front seat.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, love that.
So we do this using our 4 main features, which is precision zoom lens, real-time image stabilization, waterproof, construction, and touch controls. So these are like our 4 main warships of this product.
Okay.
Okay, precision zoom lens. So the zoom feature is digitally integrated into your sunglasses. So it's not some bulky little chonk. It's not going to be like a VR headset. It's not like a pair of binoculars. This is built directly into your sunglasses.
Perfect.
So, onboard sensors, gyroscope, and accelerometer. What do those words mean, right? If you are jumping up and down and cheering for your team, your vision is going to be stable. It's not going to be pixely. You're not going to get a headache from looking through these. They are clear. They are comfortable.
Love it.
Waterproof and durable. So, at soccer games, anything can happen. It could rain, it could snow, it could fog. Heck, you could get Mountain Dew on these. But they are completely waterproof. So you're good to use them in any weather. They're also durable. So if you were to drop them, you could just put them back on.
Okay.
Touch controls. So when you're trying to watch a soccer game, it's going to be annoying to go and fiddle in the settings and try and get this to zoom how you'd like it. So just with the tap of a button, it zooms in. So who's gonna buy these? So true soccer fans, last night we were all at this soccer game and we were sitting pretty close still, but I still had a hard time seeing. So it just, for people who really want to be immersed in the game, want to see every play up close. Budget conscious fans, if you want to see a soccer game in a front row seat
and not pay, thousands of dollars for a front row seat. Here's these, it's a one-time purchase. It's a quick on and off easy thing. And youth and students. So they're stylish. This isn't going to be like, oh, look at that kid. He's got those big bulky things. No, they're sleek. They're compact. All right, pricing. So these cost about $95 to manufacture, and they're going to cost about $300. So that's not very good if you are a budget-conscious family, if you're trying to get a cheap way to view the game. Well, so that's why stadiums can rent these out for about $25 per game for one pair.
Nice.
All right, so we're projected over about the next 3 years to sell about 95,000 of these for about $30 million. Minus our, of course, manufacturing costs, that's about $19 million in profits.
Okay.
Okay, in stadium revenue. So that earlier was not even including the potential rentals. If about, let's say, 1.5% of people who go to a soccer game rent these for, the $25, and there are about 50,000 people, 45 to 60,000 fans per soccer match. About 50,000 people rent out of the 1.5%. That's about 750 rentals per game, which is about $18,000. And there are on average 20 home games per season. So that's over $250,000 per game, or per team, per season.
Right.
Okay, fan return on investment. So if you choose to purchase a one-time purchase of these pair of glasses instead of paying for a better seat, you could save up to $2,000 if you're going to, let's say, about 10 games. And even if you're just going to 6 games, you're still saving almost $2,000. So we're asking for about $2.5 million in equity for about 9% equity to drive us to the next phase of our company. So, some of that's going to go to manufacturing, to marketing, to team expansion, operations, etc. So these just transform every seat in the arena into a front row view. Imagine if you were the one to invest in something that changed soccer games for low-budget families forever.
Love it.
This is really well broken down.
It is
financially broken down.
It was.
Like,
it
you
was.
understand to a T.
Yeah.
Exactly
yeah.
how it's gonna
No.
go
If we
out.
worked backwards, obviously, the ask, what it went through, what you would use that investment dollar for, kind of breaking it up into certain buckets as to, hey, this is where my money could potentially go as an investor, and then obviously from the revenue side, how do you go from there? As I have done with all of them, I will start with a couple of questions, and I think maybe some additions. So, on the rental side, are you factoring in that $25 rental? Because I would suspect if I own CK Stadium, I'm going to say, yeah, I would love you to use your glasses here, but I want a kickback, right? I need you to pay me so that I can put your glasses on my fans. Are you taking that into account out of that 25? Will some of that potentially go to them, or do we have to factor that in some capacity?
I think I would say it would probably be better if some of that went to the stadiums themselves, because
For sure.
you're paying $25. Any more than that is going to be an obnoxious amount for a rental pair of sunglasses.
Yeah. No, I don't agree. But I think even with your revenue numbers, I think let's hypothetically say, because you want stadiums to use your product. I think that's an important part of this. How do we get this out to the market to use? Obviously, you can self-purchase, which is fine. But how do they even start and understand what the experience is? Like, you saw all the fans that were there last night. Imagine if each of them could pay $25 to have a better experience. You give a kickback of whatever, $10 back to the stadium. That entices me as a fan to potentially go, I'm just going to go buy my own. because the same math applies. If I spend $25 every single time I come to a game, well, after 12 games, I could have just bought my own. And I'll probably go to 12 more games at some point in my lifetime, right? So that would be one that I would look at and say, all right, let's make sure that these stadiums are getting out my product, because that will be my test case, right? These people that are coming through the doors at a much less fee than $2.99 can test my product. And then once they fall in love with it, they're not looking back at the scoreboard. They're just kind of seeing the action front row. They can zoom in, zoom out, etc. Home run, game's over, right? Now I know what I'm paying my $300 for, right? I've got to test drive the product. So that's kind of how I would approach it from that capacity. I think the price point is good. If I'm being honest, $2.99, I think that makes sense. Would we be able to use those glasses outside of the stadium? Could those be just sunglasses? Because they seem cozy, comfortable, etc. Or no, it's just purposed for that specifically?
I'm sure you could use it in other events that involve, sitting and looking at things from afar.
Okay.
I'm not sure how well they would fare in just like your typical.
Your day-to-day. Yeah, because you don't want to damage them necessarily, which makes sense. And then last but not least, in respect to the stadiums, obviously there's going to have to be significant tech implemented in those stadiums. Like they're going to have different camera angles, et cetera, so that everything could be brought back to you. Would that be accurate?
Elaborate.
So, sure. So if I'm watching, where's the feed to those glasses coming? Is it just the zoom capability and that's it? Or are you suggesting that there's different cameras throughout the stadium so you can see different views?
No,
it's just zoom?
Yeah.
Then we're going to put in different cameras in the stadium too. You see what I'm saying? How cool would that be? Now I get from the goalie's perspective. I see the camera right behind the goalie as they're attacking. Switch. Oh my God, look at they're coming right at me. Right? How cool would that be? Dude, we're going to partnership. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I know there's some restaurants out in Cali that are like that now, where it's literally you sit there and it's like you're in the end zone because
right
it's
in
the full
front of
screen
you.
basically
Right
that goes
I
around
haven't
you.
been in person yet.
So,
but yep.
point being, I think there's opportunity to scale even what that looks like for the consumer, right? You can do your typical. You see, I'm big on the tier things. Your typical, hey, you can just zoom in and out and go from there, or potentially, heck, you can see the angle from here. You can see the angle from the bench. You can see the angle from behind a goalie. You can see it from the other side, from midfield. Doesn't matter where you're sitting. You kind of like when you're watching it on TV, it goes to different camera angles. Imagine the opportunity to say, yeah, you can switch this one, switch that one, and see based on the action that's in front of you. Or you can just stay stable and zoom. Maybe that's too much for somebody, and that's fine. But I think there's an opportunity to even upscale or upsell based on what the product can deliver. And then the last thing I'll add, shut up, I promise. Partner with SeatDash. Imagine if you can keep it all right here, right? Boom, I'm watching the game. Oh, I need a Coke and a popcorn. Boom, boom, done.
See it on the screen.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah. Eye tracking.
Not a bad deal.
That's eye tracking right there. I'll say my addition is, oh, shoot. I might have missed it during the presentation, but outside of just selling to stadiums, are you going retail on this?
Yes.
Okay, because that is another outlet right there. Because then fans don't have to have a rental.
Correct.
They could just come to the game.
$2.99 and it's theirs.
To any game.
Yep.
Not just the soccer game, not just the baseball game. They can come to any stadium, have the same experience, and again, sitting at home. I mean, we already use DoorDash and all. Yep. Same thing there. So that's just another idea.
Yeah, and
you recommend
you recommend a rental of $25. I mean, that's 12 games until you get your money back, basically. So
there you go.
That's very much worth it, and it's very likely they're going to 12 games. And on top of that, if we're being honest, 12 football games, as someone who's a pretty hardcore sports fan, those sunglasses might fall off at some point. You might need to get another pair too. So there'll be people coming back too once in a while as well, because they're durable. They're going to do great, but yeah, you go to 20, 30 games, you're going to need another pair at some point. You're going to get more for your family, you get more for your friends,
correct?
So that they can have the same experience you have. So it's just going to keep compounding as you go to games with people, because as soon as you go to a game with someone, if I go to a game with the crew that we have here and they see I have these glasses, I'm like, oh, did you see that? What happened on the sidelines there? And they're like, no, I didn't see any of it. I'm like, well, you need these. Everyone's going to get them immediately, because that's the thing about any kinds of sports experience. They are collaborative among multiple people, so there's going to be always other people seeing it, other people always wanting it in person.
Yep, agreed. And if you think of glasses today, like Meta's coming out with the AI glasses and things of that nature, where you can talk to, record, things of that nature. I think, again, feature sets. down the road as you scale would be cool to have as well. Imagine if you can record the action that's going on and then stop, replay, rewind. Let me look at that again. That was so cool. Check this out. Pass it over to your buddy. Check this out, etc. Because that's a big part of sports as well. Wow, look at what it took to have this play happen. So you get that replay mechanism and so on. So I think there's a variety of places you can go with this type of tech. But the most critical component is it needed? Would it be used? I'd use it. I use it in a heartbeat. So really cool.
For sure.
Yeah. And so I think that's all we have, really. So we're going to take one more extended break so that we can start collaborating scores.
Let's go.
Have some
Great jobs.
Great jobs. Pizza in here and stuff like that. So we're going to get everyone fed real quick, and we'll be right back with all of our finalists on together, so we can have a conversation before we unveil who takes it home today.
Sounds good. Awesome.
See
Great
y'all
job.
soon.
All right. Thank you, Vivian.
So when we're in the growth mindset, we're able to see that our failures are really learning opportunities, but they don't mean anything about me. I'm not a failure. I just did something that didn't work. So part of that is that ability to step outside of our comfort zone, to venture a little further, to try things and see them as opportunities to grow and recognize we're not going to get everything right. And this can speak into that mental health space of like, there may be stories you're tempted to tell yourself. And for me, certainly when I was younger, a lot of it was about perfectionism, like getting it just right, being perfect. And like that mindset can get us stuck in that fixed space, which is not really helpful for growth and for development and frankly, just for enjoyment of like your life and your career at large.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
Yeah, I would say going into, I think it was freshman year of high school is when DA first started. And I think that was the first year where I really saw, like you're saying, the scope and the amount of players that are high level and competitive and looking to play D1. And I think I always had it in my mind that I wanted to take it as far as I could. I think something that helped me was just focusing on the day-to-day, and it's so cliche, but just like the little things, and kind of just reminding myself why I'm playing soccer and having fun with it and putting in the extra work and all those things. But I think just focusing on one game at a time, one season at a time really helped me in the long run, and not getting too caught up in rankings and where people are committing and all those things, because I think that can be a distraction and those type of things.
Taylor Huff at the back post, and this is the cross you need. Whipped in, past the first defender, first time finish from Huff. What a delightful goal for Bay FC. A little bit against the run of play right now. You gotta love this.
Yeah, I had great people around me just pushing me and constantly being like, you can do this, which is amazing. And obviously I looked up to Alex Morgan growing up and everything that she's done for soccer in general. It's like honestly where I am today because someone has paved the way. But yeah, I think I just had great, amazing people around me who constantly built me up. And I think that's so important and why I love this, what you're doing too. It's like you need people to lift you up and have those people and voices in your life that can tell you, yes, you can do whatever you set your mind to.
Or do they stay with Curry on that left-hand side?
Maddie Darlene. Darlene went for goal and scored! Her first professional goal comes in Cascadia! Wow, what a finish!
I think it's really important, like you speak about the social media piece of things. I think it's really important to not compare yourself to others. Your journey is so singularly unique to yourself. And I think going through my journey throughout my collegiate career, it wasn't picture perfect for me of how I wanted it to go. And I think I had so many ups and downs, but those moments propelled me forward and actually allowed me to really have a great first professional season because I'd been through a lot of hardships throughout my college career. And I think the biggest piece for me when you talk about mental health and focusing on yourself, I think it's just worrying about the things that you can control, and all the outside noise and, like you said, the outside news sources, if they are just focusing on the PK. I think it's so important to have a confidence within and really just having a tight-knit circle that is really supportive, and just I think it's okay to be vulnerable and talk about something that maybe bothered you online or just something you're going through mentally, and I think just leaning on the people around you is really important.
Or do they stay with Curry on that left-hand side?
Maddie Darlene. Darlene went for goal and scored! Her first professional goal comes in Cascadia! Wow, what a finish!
My biggest advice looking back on my high school career, collegiate career, and now my professional career is just giving myself more grace. You're going to go through so many learning moments throughout your career, and the more you can look at the hard moments are going to teach me lessons, I think is just such an important reminder. And I think failure is such a huge part of growth. And I think reminding myself to have more grace throughout my journey is something that I've learned.
In our organization, and this would be no different in any other company, you want to think from a very high level with your vision, your mission, and your values. Those are the guiding principles that help you decide what you're going to do. And behind that are strategic imperatives. You can think about these as being things you work on over many years. So maybe if you're in 9th grade now, you don't yet have a clear picture of what you want to do in your career, but you might be starting to think about college, what you might want to study, or maybe you don't want to go college and you want to do a different path and you're thinking forward about that. That's a couple years away. That's kind of the strategic imperatives line.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
And I think just the joy of knowing that your discipline is going to reward you is greater than the joy of instant gratification and whatever you might want to do in the moment. So I think obviously you can have fun and hang out with your friends and all those types of things, but just knowing the bigger why about it, and focusing, like you said, on your nutrition, on your sleep, on getting in those extra trainings, just the consistency part I think is the biggest thing.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
I definitely can say that I've gotten caught up in that at times, and I have a bad game and it's affecting me the next day. And and you can really get in a poor mental state. But I think something that I've grown in and learned throughout my college years and playing with the national team and maybe not getting minutes and things like that, is just how can I be a great teammate and how can I show up in that way. And I think that's really helped me. If I'm a great teammate and I'm communicating on the field and off the field, I'm lifting others up and I'm asking for help and I'm asking for support, then it really doesn't matter what I'm doing on the field because I'm controlling the controllables and I'm controlling my mindset and my effort.
When I think about my career as a whole, I'm like, was that my plan? And the answer is no, like not exactly. Inside of that, there were plans. Like, did I want to open a business? Yes. Did I want that first business to be in festivals and events? Yes. Did I think that'd be the business I'd run forever? At the time, yes. But there was a moment where that plan changed. Given moment, any one of us can probably be in one state of mind. So it's not that we are always fixed or we are always in growth mindset. We can move between both. But what we desire to do if we want to perform at a high level is develop an ability to be in the growth mindset more often than not.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
It was difficult at first, but I think just leaning on those around me and just creating relationships first off the field, leaning on my coaches, leaning on people in my class, the upperclassmen, and really just buying into the process. And I think that just rewarded me in a lot of ways to just be supported and be able to feel comfortable in a new environment.
So I feel like there's three things I do want to share with you when you think about just where you are in your life and where potentially it will go. It's like, one, just to give you the idea that your plan is probably going to change. The things that you want right now will probably evolve. They may look a little different in a year, 2 years, 5, 10, like who knows where it goes. But it's really important that you follow your curiosity.
All right. We are back with these fabulous presenters from today. Again, going to my left, we've got Michaela, Esther, and Vivienne. All did a fantastic job. If we can give them one more round of applause for what they were able to do here. So really want to go backwards a little bit. What got you to this point in general? Obviously, this was a long program over the last 10 weeks, basically. Y'all volunteered to be a part of it, so we appreciate that. But now we always want and strive to do better. So really want your feedback, honest opinions, what worked, what didn't, those types of things. But I'll ask some questions and I'll kind of point to each of you to just see kind of how this resonated for you, how this worked for you, and kind of go from there. But I'm going to start with you, Esther, if you don't mind. From this program specifically, what did you learn? What did it teach you?
Well, it taught me to not procrastinate because especially when Justin puts in the time that we're supposed to have a match, we need to have that match at that time. So I definitely had to remind myself that, get up and just do it. Get it over with.
Yeah. No doubt. You bring up a good point. Time management is another way of putting it, which is critical component to success. Mm-hmm. Like if you go to college, when you do, managing your time, because now you're on your own to some capacity. But even in the workforce, right? You'll be part of different types of things that have to get done, and knowing kind of time management wise, how do I schedule my day? How do I become the most effective version of me? And time management is such a big part of that. Vivian, same question to you.
I learned that, when you're doing a project with your teammates, you don't have to feel validated by just doing it by yourself, Like, we all worked together and we built this beautiful thing together. And I feel bad that I didn't do more work than I did, but we're a team, so we can, fall back on each other.
Yeah, I love that answer. I love it. And that translates again. It's like you guys gave the perfect answers for it. No pressure, Michaela. Because that's how it works even in sports, right? Not everyone's the quarterback, but everyone has their role. And the quarterback can't be successful as a quarterback if everyone doesn't fulfill what their specific roles are. So for us, we make everything a project so that the teams can work together, because someone will have a strength somewhere and you'll have a strength somewhere else, believe it or not. There are things you guarantee you that you brought to the table that other teammates could not. I mean, you're here today doing the presentation, right? So, and you did a fantastic job of it. So that's what we wanted to really help bring out of what this league, if you will, teams literally having to work together. So good answer. Michaela, same to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, it teaches you more about teamwork and how, being a part of a team, you have different ideas and you all have to converse and, try to get your ideas to, mix with each other, or find an idea that you all want to do. So it's important to have teamwork. And I also think that this program taught me how to use something that's commonly used nowadays, which is AI. And I haven't really used it properly, I guess, or I don't really know how until I did this program. So that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you used AI for homework and stuff like
Yeah,
that. No,
yeah.
don't say that. Don't say
What?
that. Don't say that publicly. Too much. Too late.
Okay.
Rabbits out of the bag now. Rabbits. No. Again, another great answer.
Yeah.
That's intentional. We want to put these topics in front of the students that we're working with so that they do get to learn a little bit more and hopefully expand their knowledge based on, I like that, or I didn't. Either way is a win, and you kind of take from there. But you brought up one point, bringing the teammates together to agree on things and so forth. This is a question I'm going to just ask you all to think about. How did that work during this process? Were there times where you were like, no, I don't think we should go in this direction? Was there someone that came out as a leader of the group because of it and say, hey, y'all, I think we should really focus on doing it this way and maybe this works? Or is it really, it was an ultra collaborative. Everyone kind of had their own say and so forth, because the dynamics in each group can be a little bit different. So this time I'm going to start a little different. I'm going to start with you, Vivian.
I think our group was mainly just us. We collaborated very well together.
Good.
Our school's pretty small and tight knit, so we're all decently close, and it was a good time.
Good. How about for you, Michaela? What does those dynamics look like?
I feel as far as teamwork, I'm a part of RGCL Women's Soccer. That's what, that's the group that I was with, was some soccer players. And I think we already have that dynamic, which was good going into it. So, yeah, that was good.
Pretty collaborative. Good.
Yeah.
Esther?
Well, sometimes we were focusing our energy mostly on unnecessary things, but then we had to get up and say, guys, we want this done. Let's just let's do it. We can talk about the names later. So yeah, but overall my team did a really good job and we all came together and formed this beautiful product. So.
Good. Yeah, and I agree. I think all collectively, all of your groups did a phenomenal job, and that's the only one component. As we hope we grow this league and do more, hopefully there's an opportunity down the road where the entire team we can bring together for this, et cetera, because obviously you're the spokesperson for your team specifically, but obviously there were multiple hands involved in what that final product is that we all got to see today. Talk a little bit about the mentorship, being able to see and hear from some of the pros, some of the corporate execs, some of the colleges. What impact did that have on the league for you specifically? So, Michaela, this time I'm going to start with you.
The college?
Any of the colleges that we brought in, any of
okay.
the soccer players that we brought in, or any of the corporate executives that we brought in?
I thought it was cool how bringing in mentors, women's soccer mentors, because you get more of a view of how as an athlete, it's how do I word this?
Very carefully.
Like,
no, you got this.
you get to see their perspective into like how they view like mental health and like stuff like that, and you get to see like she talked to us, Heather, I think
Gilchrist?
it was, yeah.
Mhm.
She talked to us about like her schedule and everything, and like her mental side of the game. And I think like for me, like I could relate in some way
Mhm.
for like some stuff. And then also like going into college, like just having a sense of like what they do, and I might do similar things as they are.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. How about for you, Esther?
Well, listening to those soccer women talk about their experiences, it really taught me a lot because like I'm someone who wants to, watch one person do it before like I have like a set plan of how I'm going to do it. So, just hearing them talk about their life and what it is that they needed to do to get where they were, it gave me like motivation to know that okay, so I'm gonna go this route, learn from their mistakes basically, and not fall into the same mistakes they did. So that's kind of how I,
Awesome. Very good. Vivian?
I think it kind of made the whole experience feel more like real, more like integrated into soccer. Talking to Taylor was really cool. I learned some stuff I didn't know before, and
I did not pay Vivian to say that, Taylor being my daughter, but you may win this thing. Oh, wait. No, just kidding. That's no good input from all of you, honestly. I think a couple things there. Learning, I again purposefully done in the league, learning from those that have already done it is so critical. And I wish programs like this, honestly, y'all, I wish these types of programs were available when I was younger, because I make mistakes all the time. Literally, we fail all the time, but you have to have the confidence to try and go through that failure so that you can get to the next step. But along that route, if you can learn from other people's failures, all for it, right? Because now you get to where you want to go to a little bit quicker, a little bit more efficiently, and so on. So really, really strong answers. Let's talk going backwards a little bit from where you were. Think back for a moment, where you were on day one, week one, when you first heard about the league and you have to come up with this idea and everything else, to where you are today, right? And talk about not just your own individual growth, but the growth of the team and the mindset from where you started to where you ended up today. And Vivian, actually, Esther, I'll start with you.
When I first joined the club, I was like, yep, let me just be in a club to put on my resume. I'm telling the truth.
I love it.
And then I started like, because I do love sports, and then I started to be more competitive. My team actually started to be more competitive. Just saying, oh, I have a match with this person, so this person actually is good. So make sure you lock in. And we just got really competitive towards the end. We all warmed up to each other because my team is like freshmen, sophomores, I'm a senior, junior. So we didn't really like know each other. So we were just sitting down quiet, but then towards the end we just all clicked. One group, we were like one grade, and then we were just like going with the flow.
Good deal. Good deal. Vivian?
I remember at the start, I was like, oh my gosh, what did I sign up for? This is a lot more than I thought it would be. But as time went on, it became fun. We would work on it over lunch together. I remember we sang karaoke one time.
I love that.
Just had a great time just getting to hang out with these amazing people and make this thing together.
Good. Great to hear. Great to hear. Michaela?
So day one, I was just like, okay, you know what, this can be a cool experience and something out of my comfort zone, like something I wouldn't usually do. So like my mindset going into it was like, I'm just, here to like do something I haven't done before and experience something that is cool. And then it was competitive, and I love being competitive, so that was fun. And our team's competitive, so that was just fun overall.
Good deal. Good deal. Great answers. Obviously, you all had to, as a team, build a business. That was the entire intent of this program. Show you kind of from the beginning all the way kind of through fruition, pitch deck. How do you build a business? What did you learn in that journey about building a business? I'm going to start with you, Vivian.
Okay, this is kind of weird, but the best way to market is to gaslight your investors into thinking your product is absolutely necessary to their life.
Good takeaway. Good takeaway. I like it. Michaela?
This is really this is a simple answer, but I think AI is important and it can help you a lot.
Yeah. AI is, our world will be massively different in 10 years than
yeah.
where we are today, thanks to AI. Esther?
That it's not just about how much money that you're getting, is if the people who you're selling it to actually like it. So just make sure, it's in their interest.
Yeah. You bring up a great point. In business in general, everything needs to have a certain amount of value, is what I would call it. But the higher the value, the more money you can make, because you always want to have that business hat on as well. So good points there. What advice, now that you've been able to go through this journey, right? So think of what you all answered when you first started, I don't know what I'm getting myself into kind of thing, right? That's every time we pitch kind of our new league, that's a standard answer. So one of the things we like to do is play this video back to teachers and students so that they can hear you all in respect to what do we do from here. So what advice would you give someone that's looking at our next iteration of this Players League from your perspective? Michaela?
I would say try something new. You never know what you're going to get out of it, and trying new experiences is always important in life, and being open to the experience is also very important in life. So.
Okay. Esther?
I would say communicate a lot with your team. Don't be kind of standoffish, because if I was standoffish, I wouldn't be here right now. And make sure you're likable, but not a people's pleaser. I think that's different,
Be firm, right?
Yeah, firm.
Have an opinion, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Have fun with it. It's confusing and some difficult at some points, but at the end of the day, you're just having fun with your teammates and making something. And there's no real consequence to winning or losing. It's just a project.
Yeah, it's just a new project to try and see what you like or don't like, right? Like we keep touting. Let's talk a little bit about AI, some of the tools that you were able to use. I'm sure you're somewhat familiar with, if not very familiar with, and then maybe hopefully some of the other ones were fairly new to you. How did that look? What's your outlook on AI after having gone through this course in general? Esther?
So AI definitely does a lot, way more than I thought. And I would say, it would give you whatever you need as long as you're creative enough. If you tell it exactly what it is that you want, it would give it to you. I used it with my logo mostly, and at first I didn't even know what my logo was supposed to look like. I was just talking to it like a friend, and then just saying, "Oh yeah, so I like the idea of the leg." So and then after a while, just spit out something. So
very cool. Very cool. Vivian?
I think it was helpful in some aspects of this project and the, finance stuff. I'm a freshman. I don't know how to do finance. But at the end of the day, I don't think AI can truly replace human minds. We came up with our product idea on our own.
Sure.
We had to go in and fix some pitch deck stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It'll never replace the human mind, the ideation, the creativity, solely that everyone has inside of them. I think AI, if used properly, can just help us get from point A to Z in a meaningful manner and help us potentially even be a little bit more creative. And hey, I didn't think of that, because everyone thinks a little differently too, right, to some capacity. But that spark has to come from you individually before AI even can come to fruition, right? So how about you, Michaela? I know you touched on it a little bit already, but.
Yeah, I was going to say, like you said, if you use AI properly, then you will get what you need, obviously. I think AI is very helpful, and like you said, it gives you what you need, and it helps you a lot with ideas and expanding ideas. So, yeah, I think AI is important, and it's definitely growing right now.
For sure. There's a lot of big name companies putting tons and tons of money behind that type of research to cultivate even deeper levels of AI. Purposely, we wanted to put that all in front of you because I think a lot of kids your age look at AI as ChatGPT or something simple, basically, where we wanted to help expand your minds around what other use cases are there that could be beneficial as you get older, especially, right, in the workforce, into college or beyond, et cetera. So hopefully that was a little bit of an eye-opener for all of you guys. And then last question I'm going to ask in respect to this is, what was the biggest problem you ran across over the course of this entire program? So, Vivian, I'm going to start with you.
We were not the most organized. We were kind of all over the place. It was fun though. It was a fun amount of chaos. But we managed to get everything done. So
yeah, and y'all did great with it. You talked about finances as an example earlier on your last answer, and frankly, you know, on your pitch, you laid it out incredibly well. So good job, Michaela.
I think it was hard to find something that's not like that's like it was hard to find something that's not already used.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a hard thing when we were like trying to come up with our product. But yeah, that was the hardest thing probably.
Yeah.
But we worked through it and got what we wanted. So
inventing a new product
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
useful anyway.
Yeah.
That can be made and as actual is definitely hard for sure.
Yeah.
But I think y'all did a great job with it.
Our problem was not really knowing our weaknesses at first. So, for example, like I'm not really a fast typer, so me taking up the job to type while someone is talking was just wasting time.
Yep.
Like, but I am a fast thinker, so the person who's not really a fast thinker but a fast typer could take up that, and then so we can just like work together and make that, you know, faster. So that's something that we did have a problem with, and we eventually, you know, I guess fixed it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's funny. You all bring up interesting different points, which is great. You are obviously kind of what's everyone's role, right? What's everyone's lane that they can help us get to our point most effectively and efficiently. That, which is again, that's how families work to some capacity. That's how businesses definitely work, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm glad you were able to go through all of your experiences, frankly, to share in kind of what it's like almost in the real world when you're out there, kind of having to do these same things in potentially different businesses. Last question, and then we'll break from here, is simply from the Players League perspective, overall, what's your greatest takeaway? What did you like the most could be an answer to that, but what's your greatest takeaway from the Players League? Esther?
So my greatest takeaway is definitely don't procrastinate. Just get it over with and just have fun. Like, just enjoy it while you can. You will never experience something like that again.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was definitely competing with Taylor.
Ooh.
Yes, for the Soccer Stars, because I did hear that she was really good. And then, you know, I forgot who won because it was like, I think it was a month ago, but it was really fun.
Cool. Awesome. That was great to hear. Vivian?
That your team kind of becomes your family, you know. I was texting them at like midnight about random stuff. We were just this machine building our presentation, and I really loved and appreciate how kind they are, and it was amazing.
So the camaraderie amongst your teammates, being able to build on that was impactful, obviously, to you. That's, as a dad, that's a home run for me. So that's awesome. Michaela?
I'd say team culture is important, and like the most successful teams have the best culture. Personally, that's what I think. And stepping out of your comfort zone, really trying something new, like I said, is important in life because you never know where you're going to get out of it. So
that's the book answer. What was your favorite part of the Players League? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part, the games.
Really?
Even though I lost all of them, but it's fine. But it was competitive.
Yeah, well, but that's the point. But that is the point. You get to play, you get to compete, you get to have fun.
Yeah, it was
right?
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
How you did, you won't remember how you did years from
exactly.
now, but
Yeah.
you'll remember how you felt.
Yeah.
Going through it, and that to us is the most important part. So fantastic. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, we can only award one champion. One school will be awarded the champion, which we will do, and we'll talk to the judges after this break to go with that. But again, frankly, you all did fantastic. I think you walk away having gained some good and valuable experience, which again, that's what it's all about. So one last round of applause for all of these attendees. They did fantastic. Thank you all. We will cut to a very quick commercial break. We'll be joined with the judges to discuss what we saw, and we will have the champion up on stage with us here as well. So kudos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Will do the header. Goal! Florida State! A red card situation. Here comes the free kick. Another set piece. Another score for Florida State.
Yeah, I would say going into, I think it was freshman year of high school is when DA first started. And I think that was the first year where I really saw, like you're saying, the scope and the amount of players that are high level and competitive and looking to play D1. And I think I always had it in my mind that I wanted to take it as far as I could. I think something that helped me was just focusing on the day-to-day, and it's so cliche, but just like the little things, and kind of just reminding myself why I'm playing soccer and having fun with it and putting in the extra work and all those things. But I think just focusing on one game at a time, one season at a time really helped me in the long run, and not getting too caught up in rankings and where people are committing and all those things, because I think that can be a distraction and those type of things.
Taylor Huff at the back post, and this is the cross you need. Whipped in, past the first defender, first time finish from Huff. What a delightful goal for Bay FC. A little bit against the run of play right now. You gotta love this.
Yeah, I had great people around me just pushing me and constantly being like, you can do this, which is amazing. And obviously I looked up to Alex Morgan growing up and everything that she's done for soccer.
All right, we are back. We've got the judges on board. The scores are in. The results have been tallied. Impressive, impressive group. What they were able to do in again, think about it. It's a very short amount of time that we were able to actually spend with them. It's not like we were with them Monday through Friday over the last 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very small interaction on a weekly basis for about how long?
For about an hour a week.
Hour a week. So imagine if this was something that was able to be done over the course of an entire semester in the classroom. Geez, we'd have a number of businesses sprouting up left and right. So
For sure.
but kudos to the teams for being able to do it. But again, our job is to crown the first ever Players League Women's Soccer Champion. Before we do that, and I promise this is going to be probably the shortest segment because we want to get to the championship announcement and kind of go from there. Thoughts on what you heard from the spectators? I know how I felt going through it, listening to it. I get somewhat emotional. Again, I've got a younger daughter myself, but I've got 3 kids. So having them express kind of what they went through and their experiences as a team, as an individual, were a critical component as to why we do what we do. But Aman, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
My thoughts on going through the whole process, the way they handled it, the composure, they all, you could tell a little bit nervous getting up here to talk about, do their pitching and then answering our questions and, not knowing. I remember yesterday or asking, where and how many people are going to be there is really was the questions of mine. Wasn't even thinking about the pitches and what they have been doing for the last 10 weeks. So just knowing that they could get through up here, I say building a lot of confidence, just getting up here, putting the headset on and talking through, answering our questions, seeing Justin because they know he was the main teacher. So that comes as a little bit of intimidation, right? But was able to, I say, be professional, work through it, and have all their thoughts ready to go. And so that was, I say hats off to all 3 of them to having that understanding to be able to produce their pitch.
Agreed.
Yeah, and me and Mom were talking about this during the break, was the fact that we both kind of came from being a bit quieter throughout school. We weren't like the most vocal people in our class. We weren't the class clowns. We weren't the biggest speakers. Like we would have probably been pretty intimidated by situations
Yes,
like this.
for
too,
sure.
ultimately.
For me, for sure. Back in high school, for sure.
So this would have been something that would have been a pretty hard thing for us to do. And also traveling is cool, but traveling and being out of your element
Way out of it for me.
is completely different. It's a completely different animal.
Yeah.
So being able to come through that and put together some really strong pitches with
incredible pitches.
To be quite frank, we talk about the fact that they had 8 weeks to do this. The pitch part, we really talked about maybe at most 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So that was, they learn about how to use the tech. The next week they have a chance to start working on it. Then they have a break. And then they have to come back and make sure they feel good about the tech and feel good about what they put together and make any final changes. So this final part, which was the most crucial part of the whole thing, they all did amazing, and that was really only 3 weeks to put together at that point. So it's very incredible what they were all able to accomplish, and all were incredibly well spoken throughout the process. And hopefully this loosens them up a bit so that they're ready to present the next presentation that they have at school, or present the next presentation maybe if they're applying for a job, or when you do a college interview, which I'm sure some of them are going to come to do. Those are the presentations that they have coming up in their life right now. So this is a great opportunity that is, in the grand scheme of things, low stakes. To be able to practice those skills.
Yeah. For me, it's just again heartwarming to hear how they developed into their own roles, which translates into the real world. How they ended up coming up with some leadership going through this program. How they were able to combine with their teammates to become closer, etc. I mean, just all the different feedback, learning the different traits that they're good at or not good at. Identifying those, early on is certainly helpful. I'm not good at everything. I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. Whatever I'm not good at, I'm going to bring in other people to help me get better. What I'm good at, I'm going to hopefully help implement with other people to help them get better. So for me, having them go through the program, hearing kind of that feedback, spot on, absolutely spot on. But with that, moment of truth, right? I will say we will start off with going directly into who the winner is. We're not going to announce second or third or anything like that. But I will say that, again, based on the scoring metrics, if you don't mind just recapping how we scored everything and what comes into the final score.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was 5 points given based off of just the ideation, coming up with that product ideation, all the basic details of that product. There was then the 15 points that go into the flyer and the poster to be able to make something that looks, good for marketing your product, seems very realistic to what something would look like in the real world. Then you have the overall pitch, which was worth 80 total points per judge for all of these, by the way.
Right.
So 80 total points per judge, so 240 total between the three of us for that one section. And that was for not only the pitch, for the presentation, that was the big whammy. And finally, the extra points for esports as well, for how their performance was on the esports side, which was just 10 points one time and 5 points one time for the other two schools, 10 going to Ardrey Kell.
Got it. So with that, I think it's important for everyone who's listening and everyone who's here to understand kind of what went into it, because we took a lot of weight into the actual pitch itself. And again, all three, as you heard, fantastic ideas. Y'all have a future doing some things when y'all get back home. Just saying, if y'all pursue that. With that, we had a winner of the pitch deck high score that was not the overall winner because of 1 point on the esports side.
No, not even on the esports side. After the esports side, it was still 1 point difference.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
After that.
So it was. Yeah.
So it was razor thin, and all aspects, every part of the points in this system that we put forward came into play to announce our final winner, which is from my home state and my home city, Ardrey Kell and Michaela Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Come on in. As she's coming in, go ahead.
Which also, again, kudos to everybody. I want to make sure, because I've said it and I don't want everyone to leave here wondering, well, how about on the pitch deck? Quest, your pitch deck rated #1 overall. Which was fantastic. So overall, again, razor thin between all three schools.
Yep.
It literally was a flip of a coin to some capacity as to whether Kearns would have won, Quest would have won, or Michaela, who's sitting next to us, would have won and did win. So congratulations.
Thank you.
High
I'm
five.
super
Congratulations.
grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, this is the very first time we've done this for girls only, women only, through the Players League Women's Soccer. So first and foremost, I want to make sure that we don't leave here without thanking all of the coaches and all of the educators back in those classrooms that brought this to fruition behind the scenes for you all. So thank you to them. And then for everyone in this room, you've got parents, you've got grandparents, you've got teammates that have all come out here to help in support of this, which is not easy. It's freezing cold here in KC. Y'all got to see a pretty good game, don't get me wrong, but there's logistics here that don't make it that easy. So thank you all for being a part of this and making this possible. We couldn't have done it with all of that work behind the scenes. A special shout out to both Avery and Justin, who trudged through week in and week out, making sure all of this stayed aligned and got us to this point. And last but not least, to our Commissioner Aman, who's been a critical component of getting this off of the ground when we first started ideating about this a while back, to bring these types of leagues to students so that they have these opportunities. Access and opportunity equals usually success. And for us, that's what it's all about. With any parting shots before we sign off?
Honestly, I would just be curious just to hear from you, Michaela, because I want to ask real quick. As far as what this means for you in the future, obviously winning this is something you can put on a resume. Anybody can put this on a resume just for participating, let's be honest. But as far as what this looks like for the future for you, I know you're committed to Virginia Tech, is that right? How does that impact possibly academic experience, how you're going to look at the collegiate experience? Have you thought about what you want to study? What are next steps for you from there? I know you're a bit farther out, but I got to ask.
I have not thought about what I want to study sure yet. But I think this experience helps me because I'm not a good public speaker. I've never done anything like this. So I think it helps me, step out of my comfort zone, like I said earlier, and try something new. And who knows, maybe I can use it in the future, and it'll help with job opportunities and stuff like that. So,
well, our intent is, again, just to expose a variety of different topics, not just this one, right?
Yeah.
Shocking to hear you're not a good public speaker because you have been here. And I see a world after your playing career is long gone, and hopefully that's way down the road, right? Maybe a broadcaster.
Okay, yeah,
Just saying.
That would be cool.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, it would be
there we
cool.
go.
I agree.
We got to sign her up for our content creation class.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'll just say a fantastic job here. Like you said, you went beyond what you really thought you could do because you were public speaking. Good job. You had your cards. Either way works, and you made it work. You did a good job. So just know, like you said, that experience leads to confidence, leads to success. So continue that on. And for everybody in here, for Vivian and Esther as well, same thing. Fantastic jobs.
Yeah. No, with that, again, kudos to all the teams that have qualified to get out here. I hopefully and sincerely hope that you enjoyed this entire experience, not just here this weekend, but in general. It sounds like you did, which is a win for us as a team. That's what we're trying to promote and trying to do. But most importantly, it's how you feel after you've left. And hopefully down the road, this will continue to resonate for you as something cool that you were able to participate in and potentially lead to, whether it's a business, an idea, some type of exercise that will take you either into the collegiate scene or into the workforce as a whole. So again, congratulations,
Thank
Michaela
you.
and RGCal.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely. Stage is yours.
Okay.
Not a good public speaker, though. I'm just saying.
Oh, no, I think that it wouldn't have been possible without the team, the teamwork and team effort. That was a huge thing, a part of this whole experience. And my coach, Monty, who, got us into this experience. And I learned a lot, and I think that's really important in life. And then also, thank you to you guys for the opportunity to do this. I'm very grateful about it. So
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, thank you. Like I said, a huge shout out to, again, the educators, coaches, et cetera, behind the scenes that took a chance on this because just like anyone else, they're wondering, just like you were in day one, what is this all about and what does this mean? But they took a shot with us.
Yeah, they sure did.
And hopefully they got something impactful back, which I can think that they did, and kind of go from there. So, again, congrats.
Thank you.
And we look forward to our next season. Just so you know, as we wrap up here in Kansas City, we want to make sure that we get out kind of what we're looking at as we move forward. So the intent of the league, obviously, was to create a business utilizing AI and really have the students kind of conceptualize and come up with the ideas behind what AI can then kind of bridge the gap to getting them to that final product. And we got to see some fantastic presentations today. Really, really, really were. What it proves is, again, innovation starts so much before the actual product goes to market. There's so much behind the scenes before you buy an iPhone or whatever it is that you purchase. And that's hopefully a little bit of a taste that we were able to get all of the schools to see as well. Last but not least, I'm excited about the next step. You know, a couple quick previews. I know Amon has been going to town as
Season
we
2.
launch Season 2 of the Players League football.
Yes,
We're
indeed.
going to go from 4 cities to quite a few more.
Oh, yeah.
Expanding out to the West Coast as well. As the FIFA World Cup comes around, we plan on expanding what we're doing around soccer as a whole. And we have just signed on a few athletes to introduce us to Players League basketball.
Awesome.
So we're super excited about, again, what we're able to provide. But most importantly, what excites us, what gets us up and going every day is, again, what you all got to see here today with the students coming out of their shell to some capacity to show us what they're capable of. And they're capable of so much more beyond this even. So with that, Justin, great job as usual. Amon, great job as usual.
Thank you.
Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget Monday night, 6 o'clock.
Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so slow. Everybody know I'm on. You know when the click through. Try to send this back to be a run, 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 I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so slow. Everybody know I'm on. You know when the click through. Try to send this back to be a slow beat run. I've been coming up hot for a minute.